Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a rewind encore of episode 57 live stream from the Off the Chain series that I was doing many months ago every weekend. Let me know if you guys want to definitely see these come back. I had an awesome time. I thought it'd be great to kind of see what we were thinking about at that particular time. This was actually filmed February 14th of this year, 2021. So enjoy it. Comment in the section below. Let me know what you guys thought was the funniest part in this episode. Man, these guys are definitely the most interesting crypto people in the game. Enjoy. Again, like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this. I'm out of here. Holla! Stacking my coins, your boy Crypto Blood, Off the Chain, episode 57 live stream coming up soon, guys. Stay tuned. We should have Trekk. I think Alan will be here. 10 Pound definitely should be in the building, and possibly some other people as well. Just sit tight, people. I told you, make moves, nigga, stack the dinero. The world go round, you better get some. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. This is the best live stream in the building. In my grave while they out celebrating with my coins, niggas out here. I'm hoping to get the live stream caller line up and running next episode, so watch out for that. That's really the best part of these Off the Chain live streams, is having you guys call in, so stay tuned for that. We're going to get that on the next episode, hopefully. Today we're going to be talking about Binance really taking a lion's share of the action when it comes to DeFi. I know my man Alan Hena will have something to say about that. Also, Bitcoin going mainstream. We've got institutions holding over 3% of Bitcoin circulating supply. It's only going to get worse, people. We all know that. That should make us very wealthy. We'll talk about that. That's from Cointelegraph. And also, we've got on the CoinDesk. This really caught my attention. Darknet user Joker Stash retiring from making over $1 billion in illicit transactions. This is insane. You know, there's got to be a lot of billionaire hackers out there that we don't know about and we'll never know about, but thought this was an interesting article to talk about today with the fellas. And we're also going to take a look at this infographic that my man TC down in Texas sent me a couple of days ago. I thought this was interesting. It really puts in perspective the size of the cryptocurrency markets. All that coming up on today's episode of Off the Chain number 57. Let's get it.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing it live. Hope everyone's doing well this afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are. Happy Valentine's Day, of course, as well. Let me get Alan Hena in here. He's on deck with us tonight. Some of the other guys may be here, may not. We'll see. But we're going to rock it out. How are you today, man? How are things going for you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just doing some stuff around the house, you know, checking the markets, trolling on Twitter, you know, on Clubhouse. So,
how's that Clubhouse thing looking, man? I got to get me an iPhone.
Yeah, you know, like I said, I don't even have an iPhone. I got one, but I don't use it. It's just one that I had for testing some dev stuff before. So I just, you know, now I just use this to get on Clubhouse. All it has is Wi-Fi. But yeah, Clubhouse is actually pretty interesting, man. It's a pretty good scene on there, and a lot of good conversations. You know, you can really see the separation between, you know, the people who got some Twitter, you know, with however many tweets they can put versus the people who have real conversation and insight and actually, you know, some intelligence, you know. At least that's my perspective. I think if you can talk and you understand, that's a good place. And if you want to listen to other people, check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Crypto Blood will be there soon. Already got an invite waiting for me, so we'll definitely have to do that. What else is going on in the markets, man? I saw you pretty active on Twitter the last couple of days. What's going on?
You know, I like to see that my sort of thesis that the chains that you can build on are going to be the ones that are moving up, and the ones that you can't build on are the ones that are moving down. So I've just been pointing. When you write, you want to point it out. So I think
Right.
we're still in that sort of process. But my thesis has been for about at least 3 years that the chains you can build on are the ones that are going to be able to capture more value because people need those coins to build and do
Yeah.
stuff, just like Ethereum. So,
Well, speaking
and
of,
the
just like
NFT stuff, the NFT
yeah.
stuff is just absolutely going bonkers. So,
So what about this Binance situation, man? You're talking about really being able to build on a chain, and we're starting to see more
hey, I
adoption, more
support
people.
it. Binance was on my list. It was one of the
Yeah,
5 chains on my list. I support it. I haven't. It's probably the one I've used the least out of those other ones. So, like Cosmos, Polkadot, and Cardano. Obviously Ethereum, but yeah, Binance Chain is right there with them. I just
they've
need
been
to
on.
spend a little bit more time. I got nothing bad to say. If you
Yeah,
can
no,
build, I'm
they're
all for you.
yeah, no, they're going crazy, man. At least a lot of people want to just keep it superficial and look at the price only. So I'll give
Of
them
course
that.
they
The
do.
price
That's
has
that's
doubled in the last week, but you got to
yeah,
look at why the price has doubled. A lot of people
yeah,
are moving from Ethereum to Binance chain for this DeFi wave. What's your thoughts
yeah.
on that?
Hey, I support it. Look, I'm not a maximalist at all. I just clown Bitcoin because you can't build on it. But if people want to move to Binance and there's get some network effect going there, I support it 100%. I'm all about building, man. Building product services, that people want to use and interact with. And, now the consensus, I think Binance is like proof of authority, and we'll see how that plays. I'm not saying that's something I like, but you know what? Let's just see how it plays out. That's the beauty of this. Everyone can experiment. If you go over there and CZ rate, and whoever is on that chain decide to do something crazy, we'll see how it plays out. But right now the fees are too high on Ethereum. And as excellent as the network effect is and devs are, they need to get to work on these L2s and side chains, because until they really, when I say get to work, and I know they're working on them, but onboarding people to them, right? If they don't start onboarding people to them quicker, a lot of new users are just going to just go down to Binance. I mean, I don't know if you saw the video from Hoskinson today, Charles Hoskinson.
No, what did he
He
say?
he had a lot of smoke for everybody, and he was talking all sorts of. He's listen. Let me tell you something. Hoskinson is locked and loaded. They ready. They're ready. I watch all his videos to see their progress. They after this month, they're gonna be like I mean, they're gonna be doing a lot of stuff. I think.
Aren't
I
they?
really
Aren't they?
do.
They're doing something major real soon, right?
I think. I mean, he's sort of signaled that they got some sort of deal with some African country, which is always good. Any country, as far as a user base. He said there's going to be an announcement for a liquidity provider, aka he said a very large liquidity provider, which tells me that it's going to be some exchange, probably Coinbase, because they're already on Binance. It's got to be Coinbase. Regardless, they have been building, and people are like, well, Cardano don't have no depths. There's nothing going on there. All right, man. See,
That,
this is
that's me.
people.
That's me,
People. I'm
Alan. That's
telling you.
me.
Listen, I know, but this is my thing, man. Like, you got to pay attention. You just can't go off of Twitter. You got to go in the weeds and start looking at what's happening, and not just wait for Twitter to tell you. Because by the time you find out on Twitter, the price is 10x. Whoops, it is actually 10x. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, if you would have got into Cardano, if you're just looking to make dollar gains, if you would have got into Cardano in the summer, it was 8 cents. Now it's like 80 something cents or 90 something cents. And I can tell you right now, I look at it like this. This has been sort of my theory. If that Cardano, Polkadot, Cosmos, Binance, and Ethereum, they could all reach parity. And when I say parity, they could all be not exactly the same, but they could all be within arm's reach of each other within a couple of years. That's just how I view it, because you can build on all of them. So then it becomes the incentives, right? So right now the incentives on Ethereum is much higher because they're larger. But
So I got this. This was for you,
this is
Alan. I was up last night. Randomly, this video showed up on my YouTube feed, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play this for my man Alan. This is me. I'm the white guy to the right. That's me coming
okay.
in. That's me
Okay.
coming in telling you that Cardano still has 0 dApps 2 years from now. Let's see what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when I come in and tell Mr. Allen that Cardano still has not made any real progress. Let's see what happens.
What the hell? Oh, hell no. He about to jump.
And guys, there's Allen running from the Cardano building.
Man, stop. Okay.
In disbelief.
All right.
You know I gotta play with you, man.
No, it's good. Listen, we gonna see.
We are listen. That's the
We're
one
definitely
thing.
about to see.
That is the one thing, ladies and gentlemen. Only time is the true teller of what is going to happen or not. Right? That with all of us, whatever. If it's EOS with me, if it's Cardano with you, if it's whatever. Only time will tell.
I'm not a maximalist, but
I know you're not a maximalist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're not a maximalist. So, speaking of, I want to get back to Binance because I'm a little salty about this situation with Binance. They overtook both EOS and Wax in January as the 3rd largest chain. So they've got 50,000 active wallets per day, surpassing only by Tron and Ethereum, which have around 68,000.
Yeah, but we know Tron is some BS.
Tron is some BS. Yes, I agree. Is it too late? Like I know you're not really into Binance chain. I'm not either. I'm just wondering, are we too late to take advantage of this? This wave with Binance chain.
Look, man, look at this. This market is about to grow 100x over the next several years. This pie about to grow. It's not too late for anything that's legitimate. Am I getting reverb on your end?
No, you're good.
Okay,
You're good. So I'm just pulling up really quickly where Binance is, because I always like to look at where we are market cap wise. And we've got Binance currently sitting at number 7 in the ranking, and it has a market cap of 20 billion. So yeah, there's still a lot of room. It's trading at $135.
Where's Ethereum?
Ethereum is going to be market cap wise.
Yeah, what's the number?
208 billion.
All right, so let me ask you this: you think Ethereum can get to $1 trillion?
Yes.
And you telling me that these other chains can get to even half of that? Come on, man.
Right. I agree. Yeah. So I got to put that one on my list because I used to have the coin. I talked about Binance chain a long time ago when it first came out. I was really excited about it, but it kind of got, it's so much stuff going on in the markets. You end up moving and diverting to something else. If you're just speculating, you may leave that coin, which I was doing. I still have some, but not as big of a bag as I had. So I'm definitely going to look into that as a long-term hodl going forward because it's impressive what they're doing as far as their numbers. I mean, they have currently, the one thing is they only have 67 decentralized apps right now. So that's low. That is definitely low. But what's
some will call that opportunity.
True. Very true. What's impressive though is that Binance chain generated a total transaction volume of 15 billion, which if you compare that to Uniswap did 8 billion.
Yeah, but Uniswap is like one dApp, not a chain. Right? You got to look at the entire volume that goes on Ethereum
so
if you're going to do that comparison.
My mistake. It's Venus. Have you heard of Venus? That DeFi dApp?
No.
I guess it's
Okay, let me explain something to you. I don't know how you know that's not wash trading because there's not the same cost.
We don't
to do trades.
That's very true.
There's an actual cost. I mean, if someone's wash trade on Uniswap, they spending a lot of money just to prove a point.
Very true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yep, I didn't think about that. So that is something to think about because there's no cost for you to watch trade pretty much on these blockchains that don't have any transaction costs.
Yep.
You know, so that is something to keep in mind. So we'll see what happens with that. But I thought that was really cool to highlight for you guys today that Binance chain is definitely taking off. I did show you guys a couple of days ago how it had really moved up. I think like 50% in a day or so, or 30% in a day.
Let me ask you something. You think we in all season? As
Oh
everyone
yeah.
calls it? You think?
Oh yeah. Dogecoin.
so.
When you see Dogecoin, I said this on Twitter earlier. Nothing surprises me now. When I saw Dogecoin almost hit 10 cents, I said, yeah, we're in all season. I know you're saying it's because of the social effect, social network effect. Sure, definitely. But that just lets me know that we're in alt season. I'm seeing coins that the project is like stagnant, hasn't done anything in a year and a half.
And it's pumping 100%.
And it's pumping. So
yeah,
I would say so. You don't think so?
I mean, this is my thing. You know, like when you think back to late 17 and early 18, man, it felt like a super mania. So maybe this is just the early stages.
This is early stages. This is like to me, Alan. This is like March. No. Yeah, March of 2017.
Oh snap!
To me,
boy.
Let me know in the comments, ladies and gent, where do you think we are in this altcoin season? Are we like the beginning of 17, middle? I know none of y'all can say like we're at the end.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Did you see that Grayscale filed to have basically funds for a bunch of like Polkadot, Cosmos, I think Link if they don't have Link.
I heard about Polkadot.
Cardano. It's a bunch of like some of the DeFi. I think YFI and Sushi too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure. Yep.
Oh my God. So my man John Hill said Ken is mooning again as well.
Who?
See, Ken.
What is? Okay, so
K-I-N.
K-I-N. Weren't they under SEC investigation or something?
My point exactly.
All right, it's all season. All right, man. All right.
My point exactly. Hey, John Hill, I'm going to send you a link really quickly. Hopefully you on Telegram. I hope you can, or I'll actually send it on Discord. Maybe you can join us today as well. So I'm going to send that over to you now. But let's see what Gaston Cruz is saying here. Very early in the alt season, he said, wait till institutional money buys alts. Yikes. We need to think about that.
About to buy
well,
alts,
that's kind of what the great.
Alts,
well, that's kind of what you're talking about as far as grayscale. That's an alt play.
I think they mean like Guggenheim and these other ones that are not coming through Grayscale that are somehow getting those own coins, getting their own coin.
Well, Grayscale is institutional though.
I do. But okay, yeah, I agree with you. I agree 100%. But a lot of people try to put Grayscale to the side because they're already in crypto. They're not looking for like crypto-rooted institutional. They're looking for like institutional in the traditional finance space getting into crypto. That I've seen that argument a lot.
Yeah, I guess.
I ain't saying it's valid, but you're going to get a lot of naysayers otherwise.
Yeah, so Scott's saying that Mark Cuban is an early investor in Aave.
Oh, if you haven't heard that interview on I think it's the Defiant podcast with Cuban, you better listen to it. He really bullish on like Ethereum, DeFi, NFTs. He was at it.
Yeah, Scott is saying they're here more than we know, than we see. Could be possible. Very
Chamath was pumping up NFTs in his last interview.
Man. Yeah, that's crazy. I want to also talk about this, speaking of mainstream and everything. There's an article that I was reviewing talking about Cointelegraph, out of Cointelegraph, Bitcoin going mainstream. And what's shocking here, they're saying that institutions hold about 3% of Bitcoin circulating supply. That's huge. Yeah. The reason why that's huge is because we already know, like, there's an X amount of percentage. I can't remember exactly what that percentage is, but there's a percentage of these coins that are lost forever. Yeah. So I don't know what that is. There have been a number of estimations or guesstimations about it. What is your thought? The crazy thing is there's 24 entities, they're saying, have amassed more than 460,000 Bitcoins, which is around $22 billion.
Yeah.
At current price.
You know me, I'm a utility maximalist. So like,
and what I'm saying is, from your perspective, your skeptical perspective, is this a dangerous thing for people that hold Bitcoin, or no? As this thing continues to climb, are we going to see more and more concentration of big whales with Bitcoin, and then?
Well, yeah, we already got big whales with Bitcoin, though, right? I mean, and if the institutions are doing it, they're holding it. But to me, until they start using it, you're not really going to get the economic impact. They're really making it into digital gold, which to me is limiting the use case. So put it like this: how many central banks, if you count central bank and governments in general, I bet you they hold more gold than anybody, right?
Yep.
So that's no different with Bitcoin. That's just what it is. And my problem with Bitcoin has always been that it really just is a place for incumbents. It's not as disruptive as presented, because you can't really disrupt the economics aspect of it.
I'm getting a little feedback from you now for some reason.
Yeah, that's weird.
This is, I don't know. Do you know about Avalanche? I remember.
I know their chain stopped last week, so he needs to slow that roll. Okay, how about that?
Oh, Todd M. Avalanche, he said chain stopped. I haven't been paying attention to that project. I was very excited about it. Was in 2018. Wow, that's not good. Is it back up and running?
I don't know. I stopped looking. If your chain stopped, I'm good. I don't want to deal with.
Wait a minute now. Ethereum's chain kind of almost stopped too.
Let's talk about what happened, not what almost happened. Okay, and it's 2021. Okay.
Oh man, Todd, you gotta give us a rebuttal on that one, my man. Oh man, Gaston said Chamath, co-owner of the Warriors. I bet he owns NBA Top Shots in NTF.
Oh, for sure. NFTs. I wouldn't doubt that.
I thought he mentioned that as well, to be honest with you.
He probably did. I think he did.
So that's pretty interesting. But what I want to highlight in this article from Cointelegraph, man, is that guess who is the number one entity that we know of that has the most Bitcoin is Mt. Gox. Okay. Yeah. Not too surprising. Number two though, Block One.
Oh, yeah.
140,000 Bitcoin. That's $6.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. And I'm gonna be honest with you. You know how people, they play the whole Tesla. What's
you can play it the same way with EOS. I'll give it to you.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Somehow, whether there's a lot of controversy about what Block One.
What can they do with it though? Okay, hold on. When I say what can they do with it, what I'm saying is like, what are they allowed to do with it?
Oh,
can they sell it?
This guy Default.
Huh?
My guy Default just joined us, ladies and gentlemen. He's got
with the Ken logo.
With the Ken logo. Oh my God, bro!
It's all season, man. It is all season, man.
Oh my God, bro! Listen, this guy Default used to shield Ken so hard. I'm like, bro.
What is it? I don't know anything about it. All I know is I saw SEC, and I was like, okay.
All right, Ken. I was about to call you Ken. Default. Go ahead and shield Ken for us again, buddy.
I mean, I was just shielding it back then because it was actually trying to
They had a pretty big user base too, active user base. I will have to say that.
Yeah, it used to be Kick.
Yeah, Kick. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They had the Kick app, and they were going to include Ken in the app, but you know, you had a SEC come down on them, and then the price plummeted to like nothing.
Yeah.
And then in, I think it was October, they settled with the SEC, and ever since then it's up about 3,000%, 2,000.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Come on, man. You didn't tell nobody that?
Come on, man.
You want to come on here and chill it.
Come on, default.
How you do? I see how you do it.
Listen. I
Wait a
didn't
minute.
get in at the bottom. I didn't get in. I got in about, I say like 100. Well, it moved like 100% since I got in. There's like a massive cup and handle pattern that's forming,
Here we
and
go
like on the logarithm scale.
Yeah, you didn't know that this is where default gets his name, bro. He literally told us that he just throws the default settings for smooth moving average. Is that right?
For like the MACD and like
MACD.
I use default.
He used the default settings
for indicators.
And just for the indicators and just trades that. That's where he got his name.
Hey,
default.
if he making money, more power to him. That's all that matters.
I mean, it's a massive pattern, and like it's probably gonna take months to play out, but the target is all-time high.
Well, that just tells you it's all season for real.
There you
man.
go. That's what
you
I'm
know.
saying. Now, question though, default is so you said I stopped kind of following Ken or Kick when they settled with the SEC. What can they use the coin? Can the actual company use the coin or no?
They can use the coin, and the coin is actually, starting to get listed. It changed the blockchain to the Solo SOL blockchain, and now they're on it. Like they're on decentralized DEX. Like,
all right, what's the market cap?
Market cap? I don't know offhand. I gotta look that up.
I'm gonna get it to you guys right now. Let's see. Ken market cap is currently question mark.
Oh, okay, great. Goodness.
Currently a question mark.
Exactly.
What in the bro?
Hey, some will call that an opportunity. So
what? Oh my God, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, do not follow any recommendations that are broadcasted on this live stream right now. We're just talking. I don't know what the hell is going on with Ken, but it is definitely, let's see here, last 7 days, it's up, wow, 3,200%. Its low was in January of last year. Wow. Yeah, that would have been a lick. So do you think, guys, are we going to see a similar scenario with, let's say, a Ripple?
Yeah, I think so. Listen,
really?
In all season, everything pumps.
No, I'm saying as far as like
the
SEC.
outcome?
Yeah.
I hope so. And I don't have any intention of holding Ripple, but I don't think the SEC has any place to be doing what it's doing. So I support Ripple.
So we've got Devo Foster says that Ken's market cap is 128 million or 22 million on Coin Market Cap. Okay.
122 or 22?
122.
Okay.
I think that whole XRP is going to be different because their community is still shilling that, this coin, despite all the delisting, despite all the negative press. And they're still able to pump the coin.
Yep.
And so,
but that's the power of community.
Yeah. If it breaks 95 cents, I think you're going to go to $5-10, honestly.
Look, this is how I look at this stuff. Everybody be like, "Oh, Bitcoin 20,000 was when the last bull market ended." Nah, it wasn't. It was when XRP was like 330 something. That's when the market ended. When it flipped Ethereum. You know, like people so Bitcoin focused, they don't realize that after Bitcoin topped, the market continued on for like another 3 to 4 weeks, and a bunch of other coins, like other Bitcoins, like popped super hard.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, whenever BTC like tops out, whatever that psychological number that people are like, oh, that's crazy. I expect alts to continue on after that for at least a
I
little
agree,
bit.
and that's usually at all markets top. It's not the big caps that top out and then the whole market falls. It's the little caps. So it'd be like the worst company or the worst index or ever. It will go crazy like 1,000%, and then everybody jumps in thinking like this is the new this is the new wave, and then this collapses. That happens in traditional markets as well. So when you start seeing penny stocks start going like 5,000%, it's like you should start pulling whatever capital you have when the market's out.
Okay, so Ken, default, where do you think we are with this alt season? Like, are we first quarter, right at the half? Where are we with this all season? Because we definitely in all season.
We're definitely in the beginning. Well, I wouldn't say definitely, but I think we're in the beginning. I'm starting to get a lot of people like in my circle, whatever, asking me what coins to buy.
Yep.
And so you don't even have like the
is.
regular, you don't have the regular person like shilling you coins yet, because they don't even know about them. They're asking me, how do you find coins? They
Okay,
just,
what about the Dogecoin phenomenon? That I've seen regular people asking me or telling me, I bought Dogecoin. Where can I get Dogecoin? Can't get it on Robinhood because they stopped XYZ. So how is Dogecoin just a kind of microcosm, a special kind of one-off, and doesn't represent the entire cycle?
I don't think Doge is done, honestly.
Really?
I think if it stays above 5 cents, I think it's going to go higher.
I've been told you that, man.
Let's see here.
Hey, those gonna hit $1. You're gonna be big mad.
Come on, man. That's just not.
You're gonna be big mad.
Let's just keep it in the realm of reality here. $1 win. Let's put a date to it.
Hey, no. Hold on. Let's make this. Let's make this. If not even if when Doge hits $1, I want you to create a special show called the Alan Hena Was Right Show by Crypto Blood.
But bro, we gotta put a date on it. A prediction is not a prediction without a date, ladies and gentlemen.
A year, March 1st, 2022.
March 1st, 2022.
Yep.
It's gonna be at $1.
Buy it. It's gonna hit. It's not gonna be at $1 that day.
By then it'll hit $1.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. I mean, what do you have to say about that, default?
I think that's a little bit too soon, but I definitely could see Doge hitting like at least 50 cents.
I can see 50 cents. I can see 50 cents.
It can hit $1.
Not really, because at 50 cents, we're talking about $75 billion market cap.
So
that's
okay. Let me ask you this. In the last cycle, do you know how big XRP's market cap got? 150 something billion. Okay. In the last cycle. Yeah, go look. No, it might have even been more. Was it like 300 or something?
I mean, XRP was like 350.
Yeah, so do the math.
There's like 300 billion coins.
All right, do the math. I'm just saying.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comments if Alan is smoking on some good stuff. I just
hold on. So XRP can do it. XRP can go bonkers, but Doge can't. Okay.
No, the reason why I say, and I hear you on the social aspect of it, social network aspect of it for sure. The only thing is the difference with, and I can't stand XRP, right? But the difference between Doge and XRP is that at least XRP is lying to the people about what utility and groundbreaking technology they're bringing to the table. Okay, with Doge, it's just a community. It's just a meme token. There's literally no. I don't even know. I don't think devs
So
are
what
even
you're
working on it.
saying-
I don't even think devs
so
are
what-
working on the chain
Okay.
anymore.
So pretty much what you're saying is that because at least XRP has a promise,
Yeah.
doesn't matter whether it can actually happen or
Yes, doesn't
reality
matter.
of it. It doesn't matter. It's just that there's a
me.
promise and a narrative fueling it.
Yes, I don't see any narrative when Doge. Like if Dogecoin came out and said, you know, we're doing dog contracts or something. You know, then now we're adding additional layers to this Ponzi scheme.
I think that's coming. I believe that's coming, and I think, you know, I understand you're looking at it rationally, but this is a irrational market.
Exactly.
Like
Very true.
Ken
I'm with you.
Ken is moving off of no news. They're not developing anything. They're just now getting on like exchanges, and they're like
Look,
low level exchanges.
let me tell you something else. I was watching this guy. This is one of the guys. He got a YouTube channel. He's not really a crypto guy, but he like one of those Bitcoin maxis. He was like, I'm shorting Tesla, and gave all these fundamental reasons. And I was like, look, man, you trying to be rational in an irrational market, and that's an irrational move. You know, like this market right now, shorting Tesla, I don't care about the reasons you gave. He started talking about all these fundamental things. That's nonsense.
I agree with you there. I tried shorting Tesla before they had their split, and lost some big money on that option. I said never again because it just doesn't make sense. But it won't. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to make sense, right? Fundamentals are out the window for all asset classes. I'm with you there. So
look, if the Fed is being completely irrational,
right?
Why are you being rational?
Right. I'm with you. I just can't see 50 cents. We're at $75 billion market cap for Doge. $1, we're over $1 trillion market cap. Like I said, it's all about time to me, Alan, because is it a prediction to say that you're going to die one day? You're going to die? No, we're all going to die. That's not a prediction. You got to put a time on it. So, okay, you say March 2022. We'll see. I'll put a reminder. Matter of fact, it's some what's that app on Twitter? Remind me later or something. I'll put that out there later.
Oh yeah, put it out there. I do that all the time.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's definitely do that. So yeah, we'll see. You guys let us know where you guys think Doge is going by March of next year. 50 cents, $1. I say 50 cents, somewhere around there. It would have touched 50 cents. Only if Bitcoin, of course, has to lead the way. Unfortunately, we're still in that type of market where Bitcoin pretty much sets the tone for everything else in general, right? So
I think that's going to start to slip away, man.
I thought that
I
in
really
2017.
do. I didn't.
I did.
Nah. But now, this is how I look at the market. The last cycle, refuge was where? Bitcoin. Because you could go into Bitcoin because the only other option you had on some exchanges was Tether, and there was nothing but FUD around Tether, right? So everybody's minds were just programmed like alts directly to, oh, I'm getting some. Alts directly to, alts directly to Bitcoin. But today, we got a lot of different levers. We got like 10 stable coins on a bunch of different exchanges, decentralized exchanges. You can get from an alt into a stable coin super easy. You don't have to touch Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think 50 cent would be a great number for Doge. Because then 50 cent
Dollar.
can come out. Then 50 cent can come out and just push it to $1 then. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's what happened next. But let's talk about, we're actually kind of on this same topic as far as cryptos and where it really sits in relation to all of these other asset classes, man. I think this infographic really, I don't know if you had a chance to take a look at this at all, Alan, but at this point, you know, we're not at 244 billion anymore. We're over $1 trillion, but I think that's still less than military spending. I think military spending is like I can't remember how many.
I think it's like 800,
1, 2,
set
3,
between
4,
750 and
5,
800.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's almost 2 trillion military spending. It looks like 2.5 trillion. So silver market, I'm sure this is maybe grown as well. Spot price is at 17. Where's silver right now? Anyone know?
It's like $27.
27. Okay, so it's a little higher here. Silver market, military spending, U.S. budget deficit for fiscal year 2020. We've got here at 3.8 trillion. Coins and banknotes, 6.6 trillion. Fed's balance sheet, 7 trillion. Billionaires, 8 trillion. So we got a lot of room to go. Is the next flippening, because the price of Bitcoin, of course, was already just blew past what gold was. When will gold, and do you think that's going to happen where Bitcoin, the crypto markets, let's just talk about Bitcoin in particular, because the crypto markets in general eclipsing gold, I think, is an easy one.
Bitcoin is better at being gold than gold is being gold. Okay.
Damn. Right. I should have my soundboard right now. What you guys say about that, Default?
I will agree. You can transfer value way more easily. So yeah, I'll agree with that statement. I think at least this market cycle, we're going to hit 5 trillion at least for the top, like the market cap as a whole.
I agree with you. At least 5.
Yeah, at least 5. But I think there's going to be a correction, and then there's going to be another run.
Yeah, of course.
Like I don't think this is 17. I don't think this is like the one shot because of the adoption and how everybody was starting to jump into the space. I think there's going to be a correction, and then you'll get around like, you know, over 5 to like 7
let me
trillion.
ask you this, Default. Correcting to what?
It's just going to be a normal, you know, sell-off.
So
maybe there's
really want dollars.
Maybe come back and test that Elon level.
All right. Hey, I know there'll be a correction. I'm not saying there won't be corrections. I know there'll be, but like people's faith in the dollar. The reason these institutions are getting into it is because a hedge on inflation and hedge on the dollar. So now they're going to exit that position to the dollar. I don't know about that.
Yeah, they will. It's still like you got to look at the psychology of traditional Wall Street bankers and so on and so forth. They still have to secure their profits in a fiat currency.
That's true.
The most utilized fiat currency is the U.S. dollar. They'll go then take those dollars and go buy actual physical assets, whether it's real estate, back into crypto, stocks, whatever.
I
you know
agree.
what I'm saying? So they'll still do that.
Or they might have a credit crunch. You don't know the dynamics of the market or why there would be a sell-off. But if you just look at the charts, look at the technicals for Bitcoin right now, it's a little overheated.
But Bitcoin and cryptos, people remember Default. I was talking about this for like I maybe about 3-4 months ago, I was telling people be careful, and I had my man Matty Greenspan. We had this conversation. He was on a live stream with me. Bitcoin and cryptos are highly let me not say highly, but like above 0.5 correlation with the equity markets. So if we see turmoil in the equities markets, do you guys think that a correction in Bitcoin and cryptos will follow suit or not? Do you think there will be like a break in that correlation and cryptos keep going up?
I thought we already did that.
When?
In March last year.
There was some point where they were talking about that this proved that the markets weren't correlated, and people kept saying it.
Yeah, I remember that too, but it was just a real quick dip. Like the stock market dipped down and then it came right back and they continued higher, both of them. So I don't know. Go ahead.
If you look at the crash from last year, I mean, everything sold off because there was, people needed liquidity. If you have big institutions in this space, they're going to sell, their most risky assets. And unfortunately, crypto is still just speculation.
It's a speculative asset. Right. Exactly.
You're right. You're right.
So I would see it going down, but I don't. Like I said, I think the floor now is around like 30,000. I don't think. Yeah, because Elon, that's the baseline for me right now. Just psychologically, that's where I saw an article that he was accumulating from 30 to 33,000.
Mm-hmm. I heard that too.
If we dip below there, there's going to be probably massive selling.
But could we see a dip?
I'm not saying
but remember though, default, we have what's called capitulation, right? So 30 may be that kind of area, but a capitulation down to 20 real quick in a flash crash to really wipe out everybody. It's got to. That's my thing. Like I still think we're gonna have that capitulation moment. 20K.
No. You've been saying that for like a month.
Right. All right.
It's good.
You go.
Technically, it should happen.
Yes, technically,
I understand where he's coming. I understand his perspective, but it's right now the floor is 33,000.
Every day that we're above 30, the less likely we are to ever go to 20.
But remember, Alan, you told me, and default, this. You got default. You've been in the game as long as me. Cryptos do 90% correction.
Yep.
Okay. So with that being said, we can have a run all the way to 100,000 and see a drop to $20,000 Bitcoin.
Hey, my Bitcoin maybe.
That's an 80% correction. Right. We've seen that too many times.
Anything's possible, man.
Hey, default, let me ask you something, because you sound like a trader and you look at this stuff. Is there any way to understand, like, when you talk about base pairs, in 2017, how much, like, Ethereum was pair versus Bitcoin, and then today, how much it's pair versus Bitcoin versus like other coins or stable coins?
There's a ETH dominance chart. It's ETH.D.
So okay.
And then you can look at that chart, and I think it goes as far back as 17. And I think the dominance right now is at like around like 16.
But do you see dominance as a measure of base pair action?
I see it as like the demand for that asset. So there's only a few. I think it's only Bitcoin and Ethereum that have that dominance chart because there's such pivotal coins in the space. So when Bitcoin dominance is up, either it's selling off hard or is pumping harder against the altcoins. But when Ethereum's dominance is up, everybody's going into Ethereum. I think the problem with Ethereum right now is fundamentally, is the fees. And people are looking for solutions for those fees, and so it's starting to lose its position. I think we were talking about me and Crypto Play were talking about this a couple like in September, and I was saying then like because I was big on Ethereum, but I was saying the issue with Ethereum is like people bring up the whole AOL dial-up comparison. Like if they don't get that fee structure fixed as soon, another chain will eclipse it.
Well, okay, so you chimed in late. I had you come in late, but we were talking about Binance chain. I think you're a Binance fan, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Nah, I'm not.
No, you don't like CZ. It was one or the other. I couldn't remember if you liked CZ and Binance or you didn't.
No, I'm not big on Binance, but I am starting to look in their chain, and their fees is like it's the same process, but their fees are non-existent basically.
Right.
Like I said, Ethereum has all the developers right now, but they will move to other chains if they don't get the fee structure, because you can't create platforms for the everyday user. Like I know it would become basically a big market, like a big like institution type of blockchain, just like Bitcoin. Because I know with one of the ways you can utilize Ethereum is doing like flash loans. I know a lot of institutions are in that field right now.
It's a rich boys club.
Yep.
I can't even. I mean, listen. I think Ethereum is great. I'm always going to push for it, but they got about 6 months to really start showing some evidence that people are getting on these L2s and these side chains.
6 months, bro.
Or you're gonna start seeing Cardano and Cosmos and Polkadot eating to their market share. I'm telling you, and Binance.
So for people,
Avalanche.
For people who maybe
Avalanche needs to work on their chain. They keep stopping. Okay, let's focus on that.
My man said that didn't happen. He don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about.
Look, I went to the Block Explorer. I saw it. It happened.
Maybe the Block Explorer website stopped working.
Dude, it was flashing red. It looked like the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones. I was like, what the hell is going on over here?
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to play this back for some that may have not seen this. This is me telling Mr. Mln Hena that Cardano, we're doing a Back to the Future moment. This is me 2 years from now telling Mln Hena that Cardano still has 0 dApps. Let's see what he does after that, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, man.
No, man. These niggas still ain't got no dApps. I'm about to get up out of here. I'm out of here, man. I'm gonna do one of those meme videos and have Alan's little thing running with the body across this.
My crypto pump.
Yeah, one of those. But back to the conversation, man. Trekk, what's good, baby? Thanks for joining us this evening. All good, man. All good.
I actually read the articles this time too. So, all right, are we on the Binance talk or
wherever you want to chime in, really, because we're kind of all around.
Okay, on the Binance thing, hold on, where is this coming from today? Hold on.
Gaston gonna get
Yeah, right, he's gonna be on me.
Gaston's gonna get on your head, bro. So while he gets his technical difficulties,
Here we go.
Figured. Oh man, there he already. Look, hold on. Let me highlight this one. Gaston's already on your head, brother.
Yeah, he quick with him, bro. Like, yo, how about next time you be here? Like, if you're gonna do shots, I'm gonna do shots too.
Oh my God,
I'm gonna do shots too.
Gaston
trying to get you for weeks, bro.
He couldn't wait to get that one on you, boy. But go ahead, man.
Hey, so where was I going? With the Binance thing, hold on. Did I not catch this one right?
Dude, you said you read the articles, man.
I did.
Come on.
All right, there we go. So, the Binance thing, I kind of question how they're spinning it in the article on the end of what was it they said? Like they were really heavy on the numbers, and so it's like if I bring your attention to there's X amount of billions in transactions, I'm looking at it going, well, are we basing it off of how the price is actually increasing? So like if you had the same actual number of transactions, but the value of each transaction increased, what it looked like to me, the way the person wrote it was they were trying to get you to focus on the value of it as opposed to like what the actual numbers were of his transaction. So it's like
right, they were talking about total transactional value, but Alan made a good point, which I didn't even think about. Is that even an apples to apples comparison when Binance has zero transactional fees versus Ethereum? You know that's a real, for the most part, at $20 a transaction, you know people are really, I'm just saying, right? You know those are real transactions for the most part. 99% of them, right?
And so that was my other thing where I was like, okay, so if we're saying that they had this volume in DeFi related things within their blockchain, are we talking about it based on, because they worded it like unique wallet addresses,
right?
But is that actual real people or is that bot unique wallet addresses? And you're doing like, because if you can
exactly, he's saying the same thing I'm saying.
Okay, then we on the same page, bro. Like,
yeah,
I'm questioning it. I'm questioning the whole thing just because
it's just like Tron. They say like Justin Sun be like, we got 4 billion users and $1 trillion worth of value settle, and it's like, yeah, of course. You just said some bots to just, it costs you $10,000 to do $100 billion in volume.
Yeah. Now that makes sense, man. That definitely makes sense. So, does CZ kind of give you that Justin Sun kind of vibe?
I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't put it past him.
I call CZ. I call CZ Justin Sun's older brother.
Oh,
like, damn. I think they're just a little bit more polished. They have more money behind them. But
damn, no faith, huh?
It's not no faith. It's just they do the same shady stuff as Tron. As far as like, if you look at their business practices, they're moving around a lot. You got the whole tether thing. And I'm not gonna get into that, but I just think he's a more polished Justin Sun. Like Justin Sun's more like he's more egotistical. But CZ, I mean, CZ's on Twitter all day. He's pumping this coin. He's pumping like I look at him in the same light, really.
Yeah. No, I'm with. He's definitely not as cringe as Justin Sun. I can't stand Justin Sun. Like, I think, and I said this before. I said the Tron community would do better if he just stepped away and let the devs do what they need to do and so on and so forth. But it is what it is. I think they
he wants to shine.
Like him. Yeah, and
he wants to shine. He wants it when he names everything after himself, which is so corny.
That is so horrible, bro. Oh my.
Okay, so I would argue from like I'm not gonna necessarily.
You got Tron.
No, actually I don't.
No, he ain't got no Tron.
But I would say from, and not necessarily, this isn't under the branding hat, but from the marketing hat, I definitely agree. There are similarities between how CZ moves and how Justin Sun moves. But Justin Sun's method is the over the top, like it sounds when you examine what he does logically, like, yo, this doesn't make any sense. Why are people still flocking to this blockchain? As opposed to where CZ will give a presentation or a framing that has more logical reasoning to it.
Yeah.
And so when it doesn't quote work, or he switches his position on something, it's like, well, you know, we have new understanding or evidence that it was better for us to do this thing. As opposed to Justin Sun, all he has to do is just keep upping the ante on what he's doing. Like, they're in similar camps for their marketing strategy, but they're doing different tactics. They're implementing different methods.
I don't even think it's fair to CZ to even be using them in the same sentence, and I'll tell you why. CZ actually delivered a product and many products to the market, regardless of Binance chain.
Yeah.
Okay? So don't even... I think it's a slap in the face, honestly, to CZ to even put them in the same conversation.
Yeah, I wouldn't put them in the same either. Definitely wouldn't, personally. But
notice I said different tactics, different strategies. But CZ has more of a, hey, I got the technical stuff, and when situations happen for them to switch, he can turn and do it off a technical argument, where Sun just like, he either ups the ante or make it seem like he never said the thing at all. Like, he doing Trump in a way.
R.I.P. Steam.
Yeah.
You know, your boy Justin Sun just straight annihilated that chain.
I think before he got there, it was
Dan Larimer,
he definitely nailed it.
Oh my God!
Didn't he do that?
He nailed it.
No, Dan Larimer did not annihilate that chain.
I can't keep up with all the chains that he started and left. So you let me know.
They pretty much like kicked him out, bro. To be honest with you.
Hold on. So Larimer did start Steam.
Yeah, he was with Steam.
Okay, so then he left. Okay, so
no, bro, he got kicked. No, they did him shiesty, man. He got kicked out, bro. It wasn't like that. But hey, I can't at this point. I can't even argue for your boy Dan Larimer now, because he's. That's another subject. 10 Pound, what's going on, brother?
Hey, yo, sorry I showed up so late, man. Just woke up, to be honest with you, brother. But
dang, look like you
you ran into a brick wall.
You ran into a brick.
God damn.
Y'all crazy. Oh my days,
you walked into that one, bro.
Doug, you walked right into that one, big fella.
What's up, man?
Bro, I didn't know what to make my background. I got my green screen set up. I didn't know what to make it. Yo.
Hey, you made it the perfect thing for a good joke, so
exactly. Hey, 10 Pound, Papa Blood was like, hey man, that guy that was on there the last weekend playing that guitar didn't even know how to play no Steely Dan. He's like, if he can't play no riffs, don't put it up there. That's what my pop said, man.
Yeah, he's straight roasting.
But what's going on with you, man?
Bro, honestly, man, Clubhouse is just ruining my fucking biological clock. That's
right, man. I was just telling him about that.
Like,
yeah,
you
man.
too, Trekk?
I love Clubhouse. I love delivering smoke to everybody. In fact,
he do that. He so does that, bro. Just like how he on here.
Yeah.
Like that at Clubhouse.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro.
Oh man, I gotta get this Apple phone, man. I gotta get this Apple phone.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not even just. I'm not looking for trouble, but when people get on there and spout a bunch of nonsense and propaganda, and everybody just quiet and like, saying, "No, that's not me. I'm gonna call you out."
As you should.
No, true. No. What's crazy about it is, you'll sit and you're just trying to take it in, like listen to what's going on, and then you're gonna hear somebody say something, and it's gonna be like, "Yo, wait, what?" Like, why would you say that? Like, and some of the rooms are really good for like the whole newbie thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then some of the rooms is just like, "No, you just in here shilling bullshit, bro." It's weird, bro. And then like the last 2 days, I haven't touched it just because like as soon as I sit in certain Bitcoin rooms, somebody want to pull me up to the stage, and I'm just like, I don't even want to go through that. So I just haven't touched it for the last 2 days.
So you're a star out there in these streets.
It's not even being a star. It's just happening to see that one or two people know you, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you should come up." And it's like, nah, I just came to sit and hear what y'all are talking about.
Hey, put me on the stage. I'm ready every time.
Yeah, same, bro.
I tried it out.
NFT room, bro. They had to kick me off the stage, man, because they had some people from Nifty Gateway up in there, bro, and they're trying to shill their product line, bro. Like,
I'm not a fan of Nifty Gateway, man.
yeah, me neither.
I haven't
man.
messed with it yet.
Bro, Nifty Gateway, dude, the way they just do like security and like hosting data, like off-chain stuff, and like, bro, their contracts aren't even optimized. They don't do batch minting. Like, bro, it's I'm not trying to throw shade or anything, but like, bro, like I was just like trying to teach people about like upgradable smart contracts and like, you know,
Nah, you shut up. You get in the back with that bullshit.
Right.
You know, the facts.
You need to start trying to tell people how they could actually do things on their own.
Yeah, exactly. But look, you know what? Ultimately, listen, I don't like Nifty Gateway probably because I know how to do everything. As far as I'm very technical, I know how to use crypto. But your average person, Nifty Gateway is good for them. All they need is a credit card. They don't need to figure out MetaMask or Coinbase and all this. They just want to get some digital art done, and that's the service they provide. So until society gets to the point where we don't need a Nifty Gateway, ultimately they actually grow in the space, regardless of how I feel about it.
Oh, they're gonna definitely have a certain market share. Like I was thinking about that earlier. By the end of this decade, like we talk about being like the OGs or whatever now, like we are really going to be the OG back in the day people because of how the narrative, the understanding, the ability, the mechanisms, the tools, the level of convenience of being hands-on or just like set and forget is gonna like be a whole different thing by the end of this decade. And so the folks who come in, you know what I'm saying, like 2022 forward, especially after 2025, they're not even going to care about like half or 90% of the things that we was arguing about in like 2014 to like 17. And if you ever listen, bro, and I know you've heard this, Alan and 10 Pound, you'll hear people make these references when you be in rooms and they'll be like, yeah, so I got in 2017, or you'll see like class of 17 on their bio. And you never seen that? Or you never heard that yet?
That's new. That's new to me.
So
I ain't see that.
Look in the clubhouse for the people who are following the crypto related rooms. X amount of the folks you'll see have, and I'm not saying everyone does it, but it was just something I started noticing of class of blah 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 year. X amount of the time it was the 17 and after group or like period. But when you like come across the people who are the, before 16 and stuff, I don't see them do that. And then when they talk, they don't talk in that like that period of 17 forward. Like they make reference to things that are before 17 in first person. Am I the only one who picks up on that?
I mean, maybe, but I don't I care about what you're saying today. I don't care about all that stuff in the past. What you talking about today? Are you right or are you wrong? I mean, that's just what I focus on.
Okay, let me say, like, what I'm saying is when they're talking about what they're talking about, they're doing it from a standpoint of the experience starts in 17 or 18 going forward. So their understanding and appreciation for certain things within the space don't have the same relevance as those who are before 17, those who go back to like, 10 or 2011.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? And that's what kind of gets me sometimes. Because
I guess to me is like whenever you came in, what is your perspective today? Are you talking nonsense or are you not talking nonsense? Like if you've been in for 10 years and you still sound like some nonsense, that's disappointing.
What would constitute nonsense if you're an OG in the crypto space? To you,
I think-
what's nonsense? Like a
I
Bitcoin
think when you
maximalist
just
or something?
yeah,
That's
any
what I was gonna say.
maximalist
Yeah,
that
that's-
just trash that if
Yeah.
you a maximalist, then that's automatically like you're a clown.
Yeah, I look at you
Period.
sideways.
Yeah.
I don't take you seriously if you are a Bitcoin maximalist. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense. I call him
doesn't.
like, I call him like Peter Schiff. They're Peter Schiff for
Mhm.
they just like Bitcoin.
Exactly.
That's a good point. That's exactly what they are. Beater Schiff. Beater Schiff. That's Bitcoin Peter Schiff. Real quick,
You
gotta
gave
just,
me an idea for a meme now.
yeah, man, do that. So listen, gotta give a little quick little shout out to CryptoKitties. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin Cash finally on the move. That's right, I said
Hey,
it.
you were
I
right
told
about
people.
that. You were
I
right
told
about
people,
that.
listen,
I give people props.
we're in
You were
altcoin
right.
season. You
Yep,
know,
you were right.
no rhyme or
On
reason.
BSV.
Bars. We're in altcoin season. No rhyme or reason. Bars. And Bitcoin Cash hadn't moved yet. We're now sitting around $700. Told people about it. $400 something, almost 100% flip. Almost there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, you get there.
We'll get there.
I got in
Do that real
BSV.
quick.
I didn't get
did?
Bitcoin Cash.
Oh wow.
BSV.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
more upside.
Yeah.
I'm a trader. I don't
Hey, I
care
respect
about
it.
project.
Yeah, I respect it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, bro. I couldn't do it.
The
That's a call.
chart looked good.
Hey, he made money. You made money. All right then.
Yep.
That's
That's all that matters.
Pretty much it.
That's-
Right.
That's why I'm mostly
I
in this
could-
space. That's what got me in here.
I couldn't do it, bro. I couldn't buy Craig Wright's coin, man. Nothing. He's like
Look,
the Antichrist.
let me tell you,
I
let me
just
tell you.
can't.
Do you want to be right or do you want to make money? You can't do both. You got to choose one.
You messed that one up, bro. You could have had it. It was lined up for you. You want to be
What?
right or you want to be right?
No, you don't get both. You don't get both.
Oh man. One more. I got to give one more big ups to CryptoKitties. He struck again. Let's see where it's at. Someone
Man,
said it. We
really
got
fucking-
Telos. Telos.
He's talking about the third person.
Yep.
Telos.
Hey, now he's just trying to pump his bags a little extra hard. Go ahead, take it. Go ahead. It's your show, man. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Telos.
Everybody else, Mike, go on what you want to go about.
15 cents, people. 15 cents. I told
actually
you guys
listened-
about it at 2 cents. I told
Everybody's right in the bull market.
you. You're
okay?
no, you know what? You're right. No, you're right. You're definitely right. I ain't even gonna lie to you. So I can't. I'm gonna fall back on that one. You're right. What
But
you about
how
to
right
say?
are you going to be? Because I can see Telos. Honestly, if they're coming out what they're saying they're coming out with, it could easily be like $3-4
Yes.
easily in this
That's right.
market.
Yeah. So my target for Telos, is going to be about $1.40, $1.50 from here, and then we'll see what happens from there. But yeah.
Man, you trying to pump your bags, dog. You sure trying to pump your bags.
No, I'm just putting it on the blockchain where CryptoKitties was right. That's all. That's all.
Hey, 10 pound, hey, 10 pound, you do any coding? Any like smart contract stuff? Like
Yeah, he
actual
does.
code? You develop any dApps? Any of that?
Yeah, I do.
You don't
Man,
say
he
that.
said
You don't
that with
sound
reservation.
enthusiastic. Right.
Right. He said that was such
All right.
reservation.
Never mind. Forget it. Forget I
Why,
asked.
bro?
Huh?
That's the why. Why do you ask, man?
No, I just
Dang.
wondered. You know, you seem to know a lot of. Look, there wasn't nothing behind it, man. I just want to know if you made any dApps. That's all it was.
What you trying to set me up for?
Bro, I got some contracts with like a few hundred holders, man.
Well, you just know. Listen, you talk about stuff like you have knowledge of experience, and I just wondered where that was coming from. That's all. It was nothing nefarious behind it.
All right, bro. Yeah, I know you have Anna, Alan, Hena.
Anna.
Like, you don't try
Anna.
to come at people sideways like that, dog. Like, yeah, I'm just like tired right
Hold
now,
on,
bro. I just
hold on.
woke
What
up.
did he say? Hold
I
on.
had
What
no
did he just
coffee,
say,
bro? Like, dude,
dude? I think you actually got a brick wall behind you now. Like, bro, what are you
Yeah,
talking about
right.
right
There
now,
you go,
man?
10 pound. There you go, bro. There you go, 10 pounds. Smash that head. Pause. No.
Bro, that's too much.
All right.
No, listen. I'm if I'm trying to come at you for something else, you're gonna see it right away. It won't even be.
There's
just,
no boomerang with Allen. It's a straight headshot, just sniper.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Just like on Halo, you just walking across Blood Gulch and then bang, you dead, and you look like they show that replay, and that dude was in the corner behind the rock on the other side of the board.
That's Allen. That's Allen. That's Allen. So, fellas, we got a couple more things to talk about this evening. One being this dude. I'm gonna get Trekk's opinion on this one. He's gonna opine on this subject here. Darknet's Joker Stash retiring after making $1 billion from carding website.
That is not where I thought you were gonna go, but
I don't even know what that is. Can somebody give me some context on that? If you don't mind, I don't even know what that is. That whole story.
Dark web carding, that's taking people's information and selling it, reselling it.
I think he's being.
So somebody made $1 billion, and
yeah.
they're like, no, I'm being serious. I don't know.
Oh.
Like I've heard
So
know, man.
so this site Joker Stash is like one of those carding sites where you can go buy credit card numbers from.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And so back in the day, like that, the only way you could do it really was through Bitcoin.
Okay.
It's called skimming. Yeah.
Skimming. Yep.
Okay.
And so my man said he's done, bro. He's made $1 billion over. He started his site in 2014.
How did it never get shut down? How did that even happen?
It's over the Tor. Is it over the Onion?
Oh, it's on Tor?
Yeah. Like, so to track somebody, you got to have a lot of capital. It's you can do it, but it takes, they have to slip up, and you got to have a lot of capital to track somebody down. But if you're technical, like you understand how to, reroute your IP for multiple locations at once, like it's kind of impossible to find you. But
really?
I mean, yeah. Actually, that's how I got into crypto, because Bloomberg was back in 2012.
You were carding? You're snitching on
No,
yourself now?
Is that you not the guy? How we know you not the guy?
Is that what we're doing here, buddy?
I wouldn't be on the stream.
Oh, okay. What are you trying to say? We ain't good we suck.
I would be laid up
peasants.
Oh, okay. Nah, he'd be laid up somewhere. He wouldn't be exposing himself.
Come on, man. But back in 2012, Bloomberg was reporting, like they had an article about the whole darknet web stuff, and that's how I got into Bitcoin, because I read that article and I was like, oh, they have internet money basically now, and I ran out and I bought Bitcoin, but
and then bought some
like,
cards.
That's how for the last when I first when I first got into the space, like the dark web was the market.
Yeah,
that's why there's such a stain, like as far as like Bitcoin, like it's only used for illegal activity. That's why they keep trying to bring that up, because that literally was the market for Bitcoin back in 2011, like 2014.
Yeah, I know. You know what? You want to know a funny story, bro? I was in 2014. We were looking. Me and a buddy of mine were looking to do some stuff, and I did a search for Bitcoin ATMs, and the ATMs were all in the hood. And I'm thinking to myself, I know damn well there ain't nobody in the hood using Bitcoin, right? False.
Bruh.
You got a lot of early adopters that are from the hood, because they were using Bitcoin to either drug transactions, online or in person, on ground, credit card, cracking, all that stuff, bro. That was like, it's interesting to see this gentleman be able to successfully shut down without the feds shutting him down. So that's a win
wild to me. That's wild,
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow.
That was the backbone of the whole industry.
Yeah, that's a W.
That's a W, ain't it?
So I was when I was reading it, I was thinking about it like, wait, so you got $1 billion in worth Because basically the way they were presenting it was he's taken enough in crypto to this point that when you look at the price value going up, this is where he's at.
Hold
And
on,
it's like,
is
all
it
right.
really Bitcoin or is it like at least Monero? I mean, come
No,
on.
No,
so
Monero, what?
It's probably Bitcoin.
It's Bitcoin. A lot of those
2014?
sites didn't even to our. I don't know. Maybe default because he's snitching on himself so much today on this episode.
I don't know
Default.
about-
Are any of the carding sites today using coins like Monero, Zcash? You know, the privacy coins.
That again, that's how privacy coins came. You know, that's where the technology was utilized. Was the darknet. Like I said, that's how I got into the. They did reports on this back in that time, and you had like Darkcoin and which I think is Monero now. You had all these privacy like protocols starting to come around like 2014, 2015, because they were starting to be able to track Bitcoin and starting to.
Bro, do you remember? Do you remember this project called Dark Wallet? Remember that? And they had raised a little cash, and they were going to be like, they were at the forefront of this whole anonymous coin stuff back then. I remember them, and they never were able to really get off the ground, but I think it was Dark Wallet, and I'm wondering if that was the same association with Dark Coin that you're talking about. I can't remember. That's why I said that.
Yeah, but the thing was, Darkcoin actually has rebranded itself as either Monero or like.
I think it's Dash.
Still,
I think it's Dash. Wasn't it
Yeah,
Dash?
I think it is Dash. And so a lot of like, maybe it was a different type of protocol, but a lot of like the privacy coins, like I said, are for like those type of illegal transactions, I guess. But it is what it is.
But okay. Like, the point I was trying to make is one, I don't know, like that clean break and walk away.
Yeah.
When you got that much in value, and if you're
Who he
really,
working with?
huh?
Are you saying who he working with?
Oh, you think he's the Bitcoin version of Rick Ross?
Of the who he's working with thing, like it wasn't just you eating; it was other things and people connected to you. So that seemingly clean break, and then this is like, wait, like there's a mention of, hold on, who was it?
So while you find that, I'm gonna bring this up really quickly because it mentions that the site also accepted Litecoin and Dash. There you go, Dash, guys, and they would have taken a total of at least 60,000 Bitcoin, which today is worth around $2.5 billion.
Right.
Yikes.
So, well, one at some point they had to be operating with more than one currency, and for what he holds right now. The other part is, even though this is like a software end kind of deal, there has to be more than one person. And it's just like, how are you?
Why do you say that? I disagree.
No, actually, it's more likely to be one person because you gotta trust other people.
Yep.
You increase your attack service.
True.
Agreed.
True.
Totally. And yeah, agreed.
Now, one of the things I think is still wild is that Bitcoin, this guy did whatever he did with Bitcoin, and we got Guggenheim, and we got Grayscale, and now we got Teslas all holding the same asset. That's what I think is mind-blowing.
Why is that mind-blowing to you?
Think about it. Like, that narrative is cracked now. We went from the drug money, and people still say it, but it's really irrelevant right now because outcomes dominate everything. So the outcome is blue chip companies, blue chip institutional companies now hold Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So does the guy that was sort of kicked it off with the dark web. They're on the same page. At least on that, that's pretty big.
Bro,
Well,
but like go ahead.
If you look at any currency, you look at gold and silver. I mean, they've been involved in slave trade and everything else. Like any atrocity you could think about in history.
That's what I was going to say.
Still around.
I agree. Yeah,
Same thing.
You're right.
Like it pretty much works that way for any sector. Once it starts growing to a certain point, and we talk about the mass adoption thing, and I have a whole issue with the phrase mass adoption and how and what people understand it to mean. But yeah,
It sure as hell ain't
and it
holding.
always sorry.
It sure as hell is not just holding shit.
Right. And it's not gonna be the mainstream folks or the bigger personalities in the space who start off on something first. Like criminal elements always move first on certain things because you need certain advantages. You either trying to get over on your competitor or you trying to get away from the law. Like both of those things make for innovation, and you always trying to find out what's the next new thing. And I was thinking about that earlier too, where it's like, what makes the thing like the criminal figures the thing out that is, quote, non-existent at the time. The regulator and the other business people go, oh, we need to make it illegal because they have an advantage over us. And then the criminal has to figure out, how do you then make this thing that I figured out first legal? And I feel like to a degree, the crypto space is kind of has worked out that way. We went from where, it was it's nothing, then it became something. But when it became something for regulators and business and like financial folks, it's a bad thing. And now that shit switched, and here we are.
Yeah, I want to get your take, Trekk, on this article that I sent, that I put out there regarding where we are in this space, man. I just want to go back to that and get your opinion on that. This infographic kind of shows where we are in relation to other markets, asset classes. Man, we got a long way to go, don't we? As far as making even a slight dent in other asset classes, like for example, stock markets total values around 89 trillion.
Okay. So I was looking at like the whole graphing thing, and Visual Capital definitely does some really good infographics, right?
Mm-hmm.
I follow them on the LinkedIn side, and I'll see some of their stuff over on Twitter. But what got me with that one was, hold on, I gotta pull that one up now. Damn, where is it? There's a part on there where they show USD, and they show it on the end of what is physical and then like what's in circulation as far as like what the number is. And for some of the people that I'm paying attention to is like macro and micro economists and those number cruncher people, from what I understand, the amount of money that's like outside of the US in relation to USD, they can't quantify because of how much
rehypothecation and all that,
rehypothecation and not knowing who has what exactly, because it's a whole nother like market onto itself that's not being tracked, not being truly traced. It's just like, well, we know there's some stuff out there and it is relatively a good size, but as for
it wasn't their advantage to know, though, right?
Huh?
For the longest time, it wasn't their advantage to know, right? So, real quick, I'm gonna let you go on, but like one of the reasons the dollar was able to spread is because there's a difference between lending somebody something, right, and then spending something. So what I mean by that is, if I go up to any one of you, I go up to Crypto Blood, and I got a bunch of these rocks I found, right? They just on the ground, and for whatever reason, I'm like, hey, Crypto Blood, I'm gonna lend you this rock. He's like, all right, I owe you this rock plus some back. Just that act right there just gave value to the rock, okay? Just because he wanted to borrow it from me. So I think when you look at how the dollar spread across the world, it was in their best interest to let the dollar be lent out, right? And they borrowed it, quote unquote, from the Federal Reserve. So they lend it out all over the world so that it spreads and creates that network effect that we live by today.
Well, another note, Hena, your boy Elon Musk just tweeted out about Doge again. I mean, this should be illegal, bro. Like, I don't understand how he is getting away with these shields, these pumps that's going to kill Dude, it's gonna wreck so many people, bro.
No, Doge is going to $1.
It's an unregulated market. He can do it. It's an unregulated market. Like there's nothing illegal he's doing right now.
Doge to $1. Okay, and I ain't even gonna own it. That's the crazy part. I'm not buying any of it, but it's going to $1.
That don't even make sense.
What?
For you not to own any, you think Doge is going to $1?
Yeah. Because honestly, look, the way I do my investments, I put it in stuff that I have a long term. Those is not long term for me. You know, I'm looking long term, big picture, man. That's how I'm looking. I'm putting our money on chains and digital assets that have long term value.
Anyone else here own Doge?
I got like
I traded
.cc bot.
No,
I got some. I just gotta load my mining
so
mining
you
machine.
Actually have some, but you hear
Yeah, but
and it's going to $1. It's going to $1, and you mad? Okay.
No, I'm not mad, dude. I had Doge when it was 0.00002. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't even matter to me. But for these people buying it at 0.07, 0.05, I don't know, man.
0.07.
Hey, man, it's going to $1. Musk is going to will it to $1, and he's going to look back and just laugh at everybody.
He may have the ability to do that because he will Tesla
what's gonna be the next switching bait, though?
Dude, wait until he actually puts Doge on the fucking balance. You're going to lose it. Wait till they actually announce, because in their thing, they said that they're going to hold digital assets. Doge qualifies. Wait till Doge gets on there. I'm just saying, man. It's the people's coin. Doge is the people's coin. Doge is the people's coin.
Doge is the people's coin. Though I give you that, and it always has been. It always has been. So I hear you on that one. Let's talk about Elon Musk. Now, I didn't put this in the list, but I thought this was interesting. I guess they're talking about, Tesla. Elon Musk being the poster child of low carbon technology. I think who put this in the room? Someone put this in the room. Yet the electric car makers backing the Bitcoin this week would turbocharge global use of the currency that's estimated to cause more population than a small country every year.
I think that was a BS article.
Okay, let's talk about that. Go ahead, Trekk.
So we've already been down the road. Okay, let me frame this and give it context. Those of us who've been in the space for a while have already heard enough of the arguments of why proof of work is bad for the environment. And then you have people who actually did the work and was like, wait a minute, let's actually compare it to how these other real world fiats actually are created, or what the actual output is, or the consumption of energy that it drains from the sources of dams and power grids and stuff like that. And so if you've been in long enough and you've had certain kind of conversations that relate to the whole mining thing, as well as if you're an environmentalist, you can't be Bitcoin. Someone somewhere in that conversation should have been like, well, no, that's not true how they're reporting it. Like, let's put things in context. This situation, I think, that is making a correlation that isn't necessarily there. Like, even in just the main part of how they started out, like, is he really green carbon? Like, if you're looking at the one company, like, okay, I'm gonna jump back.
Tell them why you mad, son. Tell them why you mad. Mad rapper.
It's funny to me how we could talk about how Elon is like the richest dude, right? And the company Tesla is all the greatest, but it's being in connection with the other things that his business is connected to. So like Solar City, the whole rocket ship thing, and then the cars, right? Even though those are all green energy related, because you're talking about reusable rockets, like, I don't know how much, I imagine somebody out there got to know this. How much pollution does one rocket going up put out? Like, you're burning fuel.
Hey, he actually said that on his podcast, though.
What did he say? What was it?
He was on Joe Rogan a couple days ago, and he was talking about climate change. And he said, hey, the way you solve this is make the incentives right. And he was like, money is an incentive. So he was like, let's use carbon credits. And then what he said is he was like, SpaceX would definitely be paying a lot of carbon credits, but I support it. He was like, let's do it.
Right.
So he not fretting on that.
He's not.
What I'm saying is he's not yet.
Because he understands like the actual situation of how it works. So it's like, but to me, this is one of those, you're making a correlation where it isn't necessarily there, but because so many people are on the whole climate change and go green, and we need to change how Bitcoin does its proof of work situation to like it sounds like misdirection to me, basically.
Well, the article talks about Bitcoin's production is estimated to generate between 22 and 22.9 million metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions a year, or between the levels produced by Jordan and Sri Lanka, according to a 2019 study. That so first of all, this whole greenhouse, we're global warm. I don't believe in none of that crap. Okay, it's happening. Yes, it is happening, but it ain't because of us. Yep. We didn't have rockets and Teslas and Hellcats back in the Ice Age, so we had the same cycle that's, to me, surrounded or has more to do with the sun, right? And that whole situation. But I'm just trying to highlight it because this is something that people are saying about Bitcoin, or have in the past, like you said, Trekk. And we've heard this narrative so many times. Every couple years it pops back up. Bitcoin it has a XYZ footprint, global footprint, and it's horrible, and wait till it gets to this many users, it's going to be unsustainable and all this stuff. So just wanted to get your...
Bro, I got to ask, man, have you seen, I believe it's Michael Moore's latest documentary about the revolution?
No, I haven't.
You should take a look into that, bro.
Where is it on?
Bro,
what is it on?
YouTube. He breaks it down, bro. Like, he talks about how the green revolution is actually powered by petrol. How, like, it's all a facade.
I've heard that.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like, I've seen it. Like, I've seen the video. It blew my mind, man, about all these, like, solar dead zones and stuff. And, like, bro, it's crazy. And how, like, these wind turbines are unsustainable. And it's all powered by, like, people pulling shit around with, like, big trucks that require a lot of diesel fuel. So, logistically speaking, it's still an oil revolution. Like, it just is. Like,
yeah, I don't see how Tesla really helps. You look at the...
I've seen that movie.
Say that again?
I was saying I've seen that documentary.
What were your thoughts about it?
I thought it made a lot of good points. I mean, he just exposed that the whole, environmental business is just another fucking, sorry to cuss, not a scam, but just another profiteering path, and it's all just for, now that doesn't, this is my thing on the Bitcoin. You don't even have to attack it on the whole proof of work thing. It's trash regardless of that. So, like, I don't know why people get so fixated on that. I'm like, y'all so focused on, like, the wrong thing. You can't even use it. You can't even use it. So who cares?
Default is Bitcoin trash.
It's perception, man. If you believe it's trash, it's trash. I mean, it doesn't have any utility other than transfer of wealth right now. That's what people are utilizing it for. So, I mean, I guess it's how you feel about it. But, this is the comment on the whole, like, is it like the whole environmental movement and stuff like that. Everything's a scam, man. This whole system's a scam. Elon's a scam.
I agree with you.
Like,
he not producing us anything? You don't think he's producing anything?
Hell no, not to the point where the valuation is the entirety combined.
Hold on. Two separate things. I didn't say was Tesla worth what the price is. I said, is he producing things? Two separate.
Yes.
Two separate
things. Can I add this? Elon, to me, and I've said this to multiple people, Elon to me is a mascot. He's not called him a mascot. He's a front man.
Yeah,
He's
the
a marketer.
nigga, he didn't even invent Tesla. He wasn't even the inventor of Tesla. That's what people don't know. It was two white guys that created Tesla, and they end up getting bought out.
And
so what happened to Tesla is pretty much what happened to the real Tesla. He got scammed. You know, like the original Tesla, the real Tesla got scammed, and the original creators of Tesla got scammed. Is what you're saying?
Look at that. I'm not.
They didn't get scammed. They got paid.
Listen, they got paid. Right, they got paid. But the thing is, I'm not taking anything away from Elon. The guy is smart as hell. He's doing his thing. So I just want to make that clear. But it's a scam, man. It's a scam. But
he's a great marketer. He's a great marketer.
Okay, but is he what Justin Sun is?
No. Okay, hold on a second now. Now listen, I don't even own Tesla stock.
I'm asking, bro.
You're not gonna sit here with that.
I'm not saying he is. I'm just asking a question, bro.
No, he's not, man. Listen. This is what you need. People like Jobs and Musk, because they come along and they got their issues, okay? But they come along and they just basically say, why not? They be like, hey, why can't we do this? Why can't we have a phone that does this? Why can't we have a car that does this? Why can't we do this in space? Why can't we go to Mars? Why can't we go through tunnels in LA? He'd be like, why not? Why can't we do it? You know, so you need people like that, and you need people like that with capital and resources so they can keep pushing the envelope for where we go as a society. You need like 2 or 3 of those people in the world that are constantly doing that sort of activity.
I think you need a lot more than 2 or 3 people, and I think that's the issue. Is you only have 2 or 3 of those people, because the way the system is, it produces 1 or 2 of those people. Like, it's designed to do that. And so
I see what you're saying. I can respect that. Yeah.
My whole issue with Elon, like I said, is like, it's not even him personally. It's how people exalt him. Like he's this, like he's a capitalist. He's somebody with capital that acquires businesses. I don't fault him for none of that stuff. It's just people are exalting him like he's making these cars. He's making this. He's making SpaceX. He's not doing that. Like, he's just the face man. He's the front man. He's just marketing it. And to say like he's like Justin Sun, in some ways you can say that, but the difference is Justin Sun doesn't create any, like, his companies don't have real products. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He don't have the real developers. Right. That's the issue. Like, it's also a facade. With Elon, there's real companies behind him. There's real capital behind him. So it is not. I don't think he's as egotistical as Sun. He doesn't portray that.
No,
like with Sun, it's just him. It's like, that's why everything's named after him, and it's trash products. But
and thank you, Default, for getting me into that excellent rug pull over there on the Tron network. And I said, when I asked you,
I will bring that up for you, man. I will bring that up for you.
I was like, man, I don't really like going on the ops block. Tron, I don't really mess with them like that. You sure I'm safe over there? You like, yeah, B, you good, B, you good, B. Come on over, B. Let's get some money, B. And I went over there.
Timing, man.
I went over there and got Rico, man. You set me up. Got shot by Rico.
It was all about timing. I was chilling in for like a week, and then by the time you get in, it was like the hype died down, and I was just like, you can't do nothing about that.
Oh man, so Trekk,
I'm trading those coins now too.
Okay, all right.
All those coins went down like 90%. I bought some of those coins back.
Yeah. Trekk, is Bitcoin trash? Is it a facade? Is it a greater fool theory? As Alan and kind of what Default is saying. Hold on, big fella.
Get off here. You on mute, man.
You on mute. Come on now. Don't have Gaston come on.
5.
There we go. All right, there we go.
He already ready to fire.
He already ready to fire.
I would say when I started in this space, I was definitely on like the maximalist bus, right? Mm-hmm. And then over the years, in better understanding the other options, and then like understanding this whole thing about how do you get the use case out there, I'm not gonna say it's trash. I'm gonna say, yo, got started that. Oh, bro.
Hey, he's going to be cautious.
That boy on your head, boy.
But yeah, he can't come on.
Oh, but you know where to be found, Gaston. What you doing out there, big fella?
I'm not gonna call Bitcoin trash because like where I'm at now in the whole thought process is like, all right, is this gonna be here 20 years down the road, 30 years down the road? I don't know. And I figured that there's always gonna be better innovation. So that's why I'm just at the point of where I say, you know what, I don't know. Is it going to be the end all be all? I don't think that.
Let me tell you where Bitcoin is going to be in 10 years. It's going to be like a freaking NFT. It's going to be like a sentimental
there he go
thing.
again, people.
It's going to be a sentimental thing. Like, look, remember when everybody was collecting Bitcoins and you couldn't do anything with them and everybody thought that was the plan? That's how it's going to be. I'm telling you.
Oh, it's gonna be like the maturation of a human being. So as an infant, you need help. You got a diaper on, and by the time you get to your elder years, you need your parents.
Okay, listen, just look at the face value of what the message is. Get this asset. Don't do anything else with it ever, but hold it. That's it. That's all you're ever allowed to do.
But this is the same issue I have every time when I hear this whole store of value argument is that, yes, there are X amount of people who are coming into space now and pushing that narrative really heavy, which is part of why
that narrative has been here for HODL narrative has been here for a long time.
No. I'm not saying the HODL narrative hasn't been here for a while. What I'm saying is, the way, like before there was you have an option of things that you could do, right? Where people go, well, I can't spend it. I can't do anything with it. Oh, no, you can't. There are websites that would allow you to use Bitcoin or whatever other thing you had, right? But I feel like the way that the push is going now with the bigger personalities coming into the space, people are really more, or at least X amount of the newer people coming in, have more of a mindset of, this is just a whole forever thing to make that generational wealth or to transfer the wealth, right? Like, and the hedge against the dollar. Like, it's funny that we would talk about stuff like this back in, the 2016, whatever, before period, but no one really took it as serious. And then now rich people, right, come in and like, it's a hedge against the dollar. We got to do this. And now all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh yeah, we gotta get some. And it's like, but
the whole narrative.
But but that's my issue with it, right? So Bitcoin actually promotes the incumbents because it doesn't actually bring in it doesn't bring in a narrative and it doesn't bring in the tech. So no tech, no narrative that actually disrupts incumbents. That's my issue with it. If you can't disrupt incumbents,
let me get
what are you doing?
Let me get 10 pounds opinion about Bitcoin being trash or not. What's your take?
I think Bitcoin is more so being like utilized on like layer 2, layer 3 smart contract side of things. Like if you look at what Stacks is doing, if you look at what StakeNet is doing, like
there we go.
Yeah, they're enabling people to do more things on top of Bitcoin. So
where is that
activity? Layer 2's got like $2 million in liquidity.
I know.
Hey man, I wasn't gonna say it, Crypto Blood. I wasn't gonna say it, but
people are still experimenting with the tech. So
bro, but
do you hear this?
I do hear this. I do, but I'm gonna keep it easy. I'm gonna take it easy on 10 pound because
he just woke up. He ran into a brick wall.
He almost took your head off. Man, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. So you think that Bitcoin still has some promise because of its scaling potential?
Man, like, I'm not holding a lot of Bitcoin. Okay, I'm just so like, take what I say with a grain of salt. But yeah, man, like people are trying to do the most with Bitcoin, and I'm just like, okay, do what you do. Do what you do. That's all I gotta say about it.
Oh my god, dude! Like, you know what's funny? Because he started off real soft, and then he just came in with a hammer in the air. Like, hey, nobody's using this, and I know they trying, but it ain't working. They trying to do the most. That's my issue with it. Like, there's no narrative and there's no tech. So if you don't have a narrative or a tech that's gonna disrupt, everybody's like hold forever. And every time I'll be like, yo, you can't use it yet. And I'm like, so what? Okay, you saying you can't use it now. Fine, you can't use it for anything ever. But does that ever change? And give me the parameters that's going to cause that to change. And so I never get a real answer.
Let me say this, because I get both sides, right? And I got something for you to rebuttal on regarding Bitcoin. I need a response from you, Hena, because you just made a statement that made me think about one asset class that's pretty much the same thing. But first, I would say that Bitcoin has disappointed me. It has disappointed me seeing where I saw it when I first got in to where it is now. There has not been much growth from a technological standpoint at all. I don't even know if there has been. SegWit? But other than that, there has not been anything changed in 8 years other than the price. And that's only reflective of the buy and hodl and hope and pray someone buys your bag at a higher price narrative. Well, that's all that is. It doesn't that increase in price is reflective of nothing else but speculation.
Well, the blood,
right?
Well, blood, bro. If you're disappointed, man, I'll take your bags. You just send some bags over to me, bro. Like, if you so disappointed, bro, like, come on, man, hook a brother up. Man, niggas got to eat out here.
Wow.
What I'm saying is it one of the best investments that you could possibly make in the next 10 years? Yeah. I still think it's going to $1 million or whatever. It's going to go crazy, right? I'm just saying, from a purist, Trekk knows what I'm talking about. Like, when we were sold on even default, he's been a long time supporter and user of cryptos. When we first were sold on this technology, it was game changing. It was going to be the people's, money. It was going to be, be your own bank. We don't need any, we can circumvent a lot of the stuff that we're now seeing Bitcoin be folded back into.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a clone. It's a clone of the current system.
Hey,
yes.
Digital of the current system.
Good point.
What did I
Good
say?
point.
It reinforces incumbents. It does not disrupt them. It actually reinforces incumbents. And you don't have a narrative or the tech that's going to disrupt incumbents. Then I'm not going to support anything in that space. And that's why when all these institutions and a lot of these sort of quote unquote OGs and the people with the Twitter clout and all the connections are pushing just only Bitcoin, I'm not listening to you. Because you know what I see on the flip side? You go to a place like Clubhouse and you see essentially two communities, and 10 Pound and Trekk are on there, and they'll tell you this is what it is. It's a bunch of Bitcoin maxis room, okay? And then they cringe and sound weird, and then all the other rooms are talking about like using crypto, building a business with crypto, NFTs and DeFi, and disrupting and changing shit. And all they do in the Bitcoin maxis room is weird chants and talking about the price and some sort of generational wealth. And it's honestly, in that one dude, I called him out. He got that Bitcoin billionaires, his name Lamar, and I know he thinks he means well, but I'm like, dude, you're not. Listen, you talking about you bringing black people into crypto? No, you bring them into a silo and tell them only about Bitcoin, and you shit on everything else.
I know who you're talking
hold
about.
On, right, bro. You're right. No cap. They do that all the time, bro. And you bring a proof of stake, delegate proof of stake.
Oh, you should have heard that argument I had with him on proof of stake versus proof of work. He just kept running in circles every time I would knock down his points.
Hold on one second, fellas. Before you get in, Trekk, Dow Jones makes a great point here. He says that high-fee coins open the door to centralized oligarchs who build their own layer 2s and rehypothecate the crap out of its morons.
I agree with
so
him.
True.
I agree with him.
So freaking true, bro.
He's right.
He is right on point with that one. Now, real quick, before I get to you, Trekk, the other side of this, though, Alan, is the fact that one asset class is very similar to what we have going on with Bitcoin is the art world.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's talk about the art world. Let's
Yeah.
go.
So
Okay.
art has no utility. It just sits
Well,
on the
no,
wall.
I disagree.
Okay.
Hold on. I actually
Okay.
just made a post on this.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's hear what you
The
got to say.
utility of any art, whether it's digital, physical, whatever, is that it provides some sort of aesthetic feeling or sentimental value to someone. It's not an objective value, right? And I'm not going to sit here and say that it like they don't do stuff like to try to do like tax avoidance or some. I know illegal stuff happens with art, but my point is like people actually value art, and I'll speak from my experience. I got something that I bought like from an artist on Super Rare. I look at it and I'll be like, man, I don't want to sell it because I like looking at it. Like I do. It just like it means something to me when I bought it. It had a reason that I bought it. It wasn't like a speculative play. So to sit here and say that art has no utility to me is ridiculous. What I would say is that art has more utility in Bitcoin because at least art gives you some
wait
sort
a
of
minute.
hold on, let me finish. What I'm saying is art is a product that you can get and you can appreciate and look at. Okay, Bitcoin is just something you just have and never use.
I can
and
go
just
look
hodl
at it
forever.
I can go to Block Explorer and type
Hey,
in my Bitcoin wallet. Wait, hold on.
If
I can go to Block
Bitcoin is
Explorer.
art, fine. If you're saying Bitcoin is art, fine.
I'm just saying I can go to Block Explorer, look at my Bitcoin wallet address, and be like, "Nigga, we made it."
Okay. All right. Well, listen. All I'm saying is, don't say that art has no utility. And no
It doesn't.
value.
That's not
okay.
you.
Well,
You're saying looking at something is utility and appreciating something is utility. That's not utility, bro.
Okay.
You
It's
can't do anything with art.
It's a dude. Come on. Are you serious right now?
Are we talking about art like just paintings, or are we talking about art like music and?
I mean, yeah, that's all in the same umbrella to me. Music, video, pictures, sculptures, whatever. That's all art to me.
Because I would say it's the most valuable asset. Is the value of expression. Is
boom.
One of the few.
But it's not utility though. Is it
utility? So does music have utility? Yes or no?
Hold on. Let Trekk get in.
Yes, it does have utility.
I'm on Alan's side, and it's funny. This is one of the things I've been trying to figure out in my book, the whole brand echo thing, where it's like, how do you quantify nostalgia? How do you quantify the beauty and appreciation of stuff as far as a product or a service, of like why you use it or why you have value or why are you willing to pay a premium on something, right? So I think that with what, how do I say this? Art in regards to traditional art forms is going to a concert, having an actual painting hanging in, your bedroom or your hallway or whatever. Those things were relatively something that, if you had a certain amount of money and if you were of a certain class, you were taught to appreciate those things. And that was a level of utility that was exercising out your wealth status, right? I think that with the innovation of blockchain technology working into NFTs, this now opens that up for a whole different class of people, not just defined by what your actual economic status is, right? And being able to appreciate the nostalgia or the visual aesthetics or the audible, pleasurable sounds of music that is created on an NFT. So the bottom line, I would argue, is that NFTs are bringing in a new understanding of what is utility as based on the human experience. I can tell you what something is. I cannot tell you what it means to you, though. And that's the thing that I've actually been trying to work out in doing this book I'm doing now.
Let me bring up Miriam.
Hold on 1 second, though. I got to give Trekk some credit, and I don't say this a lot. You said it better than I can. Hold on.
You're right. You don't give people credit enough.
Hey, he said it better than I ever could have when it comes to like art and NFTs. Like seriously, that was very well said, and I think you made many excellent points.
Okay, so enough of the bromancing. let me go to Merriam-Webster and let's look at the definition of utility, because there are a few, like, I don't know, you guys help me out. So, of course, the first definition is, as far as a noun, fitness for something, purpose, or worth to some end. I don't know what that means. Second, something useful or designed for use. Third one we know is not what we're looking at, public utility. But the fourth one says a program or routine designed to perform or facilitate especially routine operations, like a computer or something like that. But really what I want to look at is the adjective here. Capable of serving as a substitute in various roles or positions. Like kept, you know, and it goes here below, kept to provide a useful product or service rather than for show or as a pet. To me, that's the one that I'm highlighting here. I don't see this is exactly, it's not for show. I mean, it is for show or is a pet. So I can't see art being a utility.
Man, look, I'm just listen. Regardless of NFTs or physical art, you got.
I'm talking about physical art here. I know you guys kind of took an offshoot to the NFT thing.
It's not really an offshoot though, right? It's all the same. It's all art, right? It's just a digital form. If you can say NFTs are legit, and this is really the first time I've heard it. Usually, you're trying to prove to people that digital form of art is art. Not you're like going the other way. You're like, well, yeah, NFTs could be legit. I get that, but not this physical stuff, which is like super weird.
What I'm saying is I was comparing physical art, the physical art world, right, to Bitcoin in the sense that there's no real utility for Bitcoin, but you can store it as it's a store of value. And you can transfer that value like I can with an art piece. I can buy an art piece, stash it in a warehouse, and then go sell it. Art
is dynamic. It is unique. It is variable, right? Bitcoin is just like, it does one thing. And right now, for some reason, people think that one thing of being peer-to-peer transfers is enough. At some point, they're going to realize, like, this is the thing. Ethereum, every other coin can do what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin can't do a lot of things other coins do. And at some point, people are going to realize that. End of story.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to.
I agree. But until then, I mean, it's still going to hold its place as the number one coin. But I just think, because I agree with what you're saying, but Bitcoin is utilized. I just think in the more developed world, it's not going to be utilized as much because we have so many other options for, a monetary base. I think Bitcoin maybe in third world countries will be utilized more as a currency.
Over other coins though? Why?
Just brand name.
Think about how just let's look at like simple examples. Right? Lending and borrowing without an intermediary, right? You can't do that with Bitcoin. You're going to have to do that with Ethereum or EOS or anything that supports smart contracts or Cardano, right? That's what I'm saying. You're talking about developed world, these other countries that need to, because they have poor monetary, like they're going to need more than just doing peer-to-peer transfers. Think where they could get if they didn't have to go to that loan shark in the village that's like 30 minutes away to do anything. Right, and he might kill them. If they could just set up some trustless sort of stuff with smart contracts, and somebody just like, hey, come here and do this, and you on a timer, and the network takes care of it. You can't do any of that stuff with Bitcoin.
I agree with you. Like I said, I agree with you on those points. But the thing is like you're saying it hasn't been utilized. It has been. Like I already know that there.
No, that's not what I said. Bitcoin. No, that's not what I said. Was that the narrative?
But you're saying in the future,
in the tech. The narrative and the tech around it do not present for a purpose of utilization because they say HODL forever. That's what they say. That's the narrative, and that's been the narrative for many years.
I can't understand a HODL forever. Like then you might as well not hold it. If you HODL forever,
that's my point.
You shouldn't hold it because you'll never sell it. So why buy it?
Exactly. That's my point.
I think the institutions that started to get into this space in 2016, because I didn't hear of this, HODL mentality until then, really. I think that's been the selling point for these institutions.
Nah, I
And
started hearing HODL, the HODL movement.
HODL's
16,
been around for a while.
like I would say, like right Trekk, 16 ish.
that's what I'm saying.
15 at least.
15, 16. That's when I started hearing it.
Right.
But I think that's when these institutions started.
No, so you trying? Nah, man. No.
Institutions didn't really. 2017 is when that moment happened to me.
2017, you was getting cards and bank accounts frozen if you was trying to do anything.
Right.
And they saw on the back end it said anything crypto related.
Yep.
So yeah, you wasn't playing in the space. And then I would question, and I'm not saying it as a slight at your default, but if you started out as a trader and have primarily been operating in the space as a trader, your fellow, like the conversations that you were a part of kind of said a little bit different than, like, were you going to, like, you know, the meetups, or, and I don't even want to say the conferences, but more so like the meetups, because the conversations in the conferences were different than what was going on at the meetups. And you understand what I'm saying? Like, the people you had around you and who you're conversing about this thing with, if they're all looking at it as just a how do we flip and get the next thing, then the HODL mentality is totally not them. And the conversation to them is a mute thing. As opposed to if you were going to, like, some of the early stuff, like I'd go in Philly, I'd be in DC, Maryland, and a couple other places, but it was a different level of conversation than if you were just, at least to me and what I saw. Like, when I would go to DC and I'd be in, like, the more professional people, so who's the lawyer who works for whatever, you know, department of related to, you know, the government and stuff, they were really more about regulation talk. They weren't about hodling. They were about, like, well, how do we figure out how to set up the system to work where we can track it, trace it, tax it, and make sure that everything works as far as the AML stuff. But then if I go to Philly, they having a whole other, like, how do we work it out that we're going to do this festival next in like 2 months, and then we can have the people come in and they can buy certain things using crypto? Or
what's your thoughts what LJ said here about people holding property forever and using it as collateral? I mean, that's a good point.
Perfect example. Like,
that's a good point.
Honest, like,
that's a good point, Alan.
What? Hold on. So people hold property forever and they use it as collateral because that property serves another function, right?
Yeah.
That property is either, at worst, let's just call it land. At worst, you can use land for something, right? The issue with Bitcoin, okay, this is the thing. It's not just Bitcoin trying to prove that. It's Bitcoin versus everything else that's being built, right? So nothing, when you make a selling point for Bitcoin, it's got to be better than other coins too at everything else, right? So people like Bitcoin's a store of value. Well, Ethereum can store value. Cardano can store value. EOS can store value, right? Plus it can do all these other things. This whole idea that Bitcoin is just a store of value is just nothing but a meme. It's a meme, and it's a super strong meme, but eventually people are gonna be like, wait a minute, okay, here's an example. Let me just play forward one example. Say Ethereum ran, like, everyone on the Caribbean countries use Ethereum, right? If that was everyone, like the entire economy ran on Ethereum in the Caribbean, this is just an example, right? And say no other country, no other set of countries were using Ethereum, like a crypto like that, right? Do you see Bitcoin as a better store of value, or do you see the economic activity of where Ethereum is being used in the Caribbean countries as a better store of value? To me, the answer is obvious. You want to store your value where there's actual economic activity that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have economic activity with Bitcoin, then I don't know what you're doing. That's been my issue, especially when you look at smart contracts, tokens, composability, permissionless, trustlessness, all that stuff. Bitcoin has not set itself up to do any of those things, really.
No, I hear you. So my man T Will says, I can't believe HODL is being knocked right now when I can leave a Bitcoin to my infant.
That's
and
great. You can leave
possibly make
Ethereum to your envoy. You can leave. That's what, when you say Bitcoin, you got to say it like you can only do that with Bitcoin.
Well, no, I think what a lot of people feel though is that there's a finite number of Bitcoin.
So there's a finite number of Cardano. Next.
Oh, I
with.
know he did not just.
No, I'm just saying if you're going to be if you got a supply fixation, if your fixation is supply, there's a lot of coins that have a fixed supply.
Yeah, but not a lot of coins have the hash rate for mining.
So that's a proof of work versus proof of stake conversation.
Well,
that's different.
I'm just saying though, like there's a lot of real money invested in Bitcoin.
I get that.
Yeah,
I understand that, but there's
a lot of infrastructure.
It's billions a lot because there's a lot of like, what's your number, right? So this is my point. Okay, right now there are 7 coins, actually 6. I'm taking Tether out, that are 20 billion or more. Okay. So is 20 billion not enough? Where's your cutoff, right? So let's just say you pick a cutoff that only applies to Bitcoin right now. So you say, I only care about something that has a market cap of 900 billion, because right now that's only Bitcoin. If in 3 years Cardano has that and it has fixed supply, why doesn't it get the same? And you're going to be able to do a whole lot more with Cardano with this fixed supply than you can with Bitcoin.
Dang, you got cats in the room calling you beater shift, dog.
What are you talking about? No, listen, I love crypto, but these guys are getting led down a completely wrong path with this because they're not really thinking about it.
I agree with what he's saying.
There just has to be a balance. That's all. I don't think one person's right, one person's wrong. Like you do have to have an exit strategy, whether it's a generational exit strategy that you put in your will. Like, look, when Bitcoin touches $1 million, if I'm not here, you guys need to, sell, and there needs to be an execution of a sale on Bitcoin. You can't hodl forever. It just makes no sense.
But that's the narrative, though. That's what they tell them. They setting these fools up. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
The setup is when the price doesn't recover. Like when we start making, a lower low and you keep making lower highs. Like if you get in that type of pattern.
And that's possible. The longer we go out on the continuum of time, everything like zero hedge. I love zero hedge. What is their moniker? It's in the end, everything goes to zero. And it does.
But it depends on how you, but this is, let's look at the scenario that the dollar is actually some sort of, like you're hedging against the dollar with Bitcoin, with crypto, with gold, whatever, right? What about the scenario where the dollar actually falls, right? So what economic activity are you going to be able to have on a coin where all you can do is peer-to-peer transfers? Meanwhile, these other networks have been building up dApps, services, products, smart contracts, tokens, all this other stuff. So when that world continues to build and all Bitcoin has is peer-to-peer transfers and some nonsense on Lightning Network, any economy you shift to, Bitcoin's going to be behind. If that's your hedge, you're not hedging for a real economy that's being built. Period.
I don't know about that.
Can I jump in on that one?
Will says, Will 45 real quick says, all people say the same thing.
But that was a Bitcoin-driven narrative. Period. Those are the facts.
Like, all right. So on that end of, does a product lose or have no utility just because it doesn't have all of the other things? I would argue, and the only reason I'm kind of arguing this out right now is because there's a book I'm reading now talking about marketing and how you present things to people. And so the idea, like you said, of Alan, as far as what you said of where if Bitcoin only ends up doing the same one thing 10 years down the road, and then you have all these other blockchains that can do X, Y, and Z plus like 3 squared, down, what happens to this thing that only does one thing? Does it actually work in this kind of market or this environment? Arguably, we don't know. Like, it sounds like a logical thought to be like, well, the thing that can only do one thing should not make it going forward when you have other things that can do 3, 4, and 5 things. But we don't know. Human beings are really funny like that. It sounds logical to argue it out now like it shouldn't survive, but
listen, I'm not even saying Bitcoin's not going to survive.
Let's give a round of applause to Gaston Cruz for joining us tonight. What's going on, brother?
Quit his job. Right. I'm gonna be on.
You didn't quit your job to be on Off Chain Live, episode 57.
Hey man, I can't be trolling behind a keyboard all night.
No, we ain't gonna take you serious.
Man.
Hey, it was funny though.
Let me tell you what happened. I started watching you guys right when you started, and it was just you and Alan. Mm-hmm. And I know I was shooting on Alan on the group chat, but man, he made a lot of good points.
Listen, you don't need to stroke Alan's ego
more than it doesn't need that. Listen, that doesn't help me. It's sky high anyway. It don't matter, man. I'm up there, okay? But I appreciate it, Gaston. Like, listen.
Nah, he gonna disagree with me. So hold up. Before he started disagreeing with me on that point, I jumped off, and then I came back on like right when Trekk came on, and I was like, "Oh, Trekk's on. I'm gonna see what he got to say."
Couldn't hear what he had to say.
And then his audio was out, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then his audio came on. He's like, "All right, this time I read the article." I was like, "All right, Trekk, hit me with something." And then he was like, "Hold up." And it was like 30 seconds of like, hold up. It was like, dude, I gotta get back to work. I gotta cut you off, but let me drop this bomb. And that was it. And then I heard a couple things. I started catching up when you guys were talking about does Bitcoin have actual utility? And you guys have been
so Gaston, ladies and gentlemen, he's been on a Kicking the Session on my channel once before. He's an OG in the crypto game as well. So, salute to him. Put much respect out there for you. What is your take on Bitcoin? That's kind of the last subject we've been talking about. Bitcoin, is it trash? Is it going down a dead end road, or is there promise with just basically hodling and the greatest fool theory, right? That's essentially what it would be. If you think you're going to hodl and just hope that someone buys at a higher price just to make it go higher. What's your thoughts, though?
All you guys made a lot of good points. I mean, you can't hodl forever for sure. But one thing that nobody touched on is that Bitcoin's still in beta. I think it's like still 0 point something. So we're still
not. What are they building on it then?
Huh?
What are they building?
Hold on, I can't even hear you guys. They're trying to fill up. They're trying to.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You just clown
wait. You have a technical. You have a technical. Huh?
I heard you guys. You just coming out the wrong speaker.
Okay.
Nah, bro.
Look, Trekk talking trash, but he's on mute. He don't even know that.
Damn.
No, but there you go. Bitcoin is trying to build a peer-to-peer cash. Will it be successful? We don't know. It's all speculative at the moment, as we say. It's still being built on, but the speed is definitely slow of the building, and I think that's one of the drawbacks of being so decentralized. Like, everybody got their own opinion, and they have to throw in their own ideas, and when it doesn't,
but they're not doing nothing.
Exactly.
Everybody's not building nothing.
Right. It's really not going anywhere. The only thing that's really happening is all these institutions are going to come in and pump the price up. So you might as well have a little bit in the game, a little skin in the game.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
You should hodl a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not telling people not to hodl, though.
You are.
Bitcoin.
You clearly are, Hena. You're telling people not to hodl. That was a whole crux of your position.
They be like, don't. So the problem is with Bitcoin, and when they say hodl, because they know there's nothing for you to do. There's nothing else for you to do. Yeah. There's nothing for us to do, right?
I know.
So they say hold, right? Yeah. I get on Ethereum. There's so much going on, and I can tell you right now, man. This NFT thing is going to turn crypto into a very real thing very quick, right? It's going to completely flip how people look at it, because it's not going to be just art. It's going to be like broader in like a media sense. And it's not just going to happen on Ethereum. I'm not saying that Ethereum's the only thing, but this sort of building, this sort of economic activity, when I sit in these clubhouse rooms and it's artists and content creators that are like, how can I get in on this? We can tell them how to do that with Ethereum. I even mentioned Wax on there. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm not the expert on Wax, but you can do a lot of NFT and content creation on Wax. Cardano's building stuff, Cosmos building stuff, Polkadot's building stuff. You listen, the coin you hold should be part of economic activity. You hold the dollar because it's part of economic activity. Okay, you can use it for stuff.
But my argument to that is there is economic activity with Bitcoin, and what that is people's literally their physical capital they've invested in mining, and that will, again, it has to always be more. So you got economic activity on blockchain on the mining side, and on the non-mining side, you have economic activity from these corporations that are using it to hedge against the dollar. That's a hedge play.
But
that's economic activity.
It against but that's what I'm saying. That is not a unique selling position, because all these other coins are now getting lined up. Look at Grayscale. They're going in 6 months, they just added like 8 new coins, and they already got like 8 coins. They'll be at like 20 coins by like the summer. So it's not a unique selling position to say just Bitcoin. That's my point. Give me the USPs for Bitcoin besides market cap. And I already killed that argument, because I said if you say I need at least a $900 billion coin, okay, well then what happens when another coin hits 900 billion? You just gonna move the number up? Because the only advantage Bitcoin has right now over, say, Ethereum is market cap. That is it.
Just perception.
I feel like this is just the other version of CB saying, well, what's the utility of NFTs? In that Alan has his viewpoint and how he's, breaking down Bitcoin, and then the opposite went for what you were saying about, well, aesthetics or what you call it isn't an actual utility in something. Like, again, I still take it back to, just because it has the one thing, if we look in 15 years down the road, we don't know if just it doing the one thing is going to make it be the thing that stand out when everyone does 101 things. Like, we don't know that. It's nice to have speculation and being in like this kind of environment and marketplace, but we don't know what that's going to be down the road.
If you're up 10x on any investment, you better be taking something off the table.
And you should be hedging your profits in dollars into other assets that the government can't conjure. And that's what I tell people all the time. Like, you need to be hedging your gains into other arenas. And there's even other arenas in the digital asset space. Do I only hold Ethereum? No, because I'm not a dummy. Do I only hold any of one coin? No. Do I put it into different digital assets, different types of digital assets? Yes. Do I own physical assets? Yes. People are talking about generational wealth, and you think Bitcoin is going to be the only thing that's going to take you, because some people that don't have your economic conditions are telling you to hodl forever. Man, you being set up. You're being set up, man.
Yeah,
you're being set up.
Bro, you're being set up by this guy right here, Bogdanov, man. Bogdanov, he gonna make the call. He gonna be like,
buy the dip.
He gonna be like, pump it.
That's something I've been talking about. Like, everybody pumping their coin, but I always say, like, hey, if your coin is not tradable, what value does it have? And nobody really says anything to that. Like, if you really can't trade your coin and it loses 50% of its value, can you do anything with it? The majority of those,
no,
not really.
No, you can't. Well, I don't know, guys.
I think that you can buy stuff with it, because I buy stuff with it all the time. But I mean, to each their own, bro.
Are you talking about
I'm
Bitcoin?
I'm talking about
you too.
any coins.
Yeah, you can buy stuff with Bitcoin.
Yeah, I didn't say you couldn't, but there's no spend culture, man. There's no spend culture.
As it shouldn't be. Look at the guy that bought Bitcoin pizza with Bitcoin,
All
man.
right,
He spent
listen,
like
your network-
62 million.
Listen, you're gonna see, man. Look, you're gonna see economies are being built on chain of these networks you can build on, and you really gonna see it over the next 2 to 3 years, okay? Because when people start performing economic activity, you want to store your value in economic activity, okay? And if all you're thinking about is that Bitcoin is going to keep going up, at some point they're going to take a step back and they're going to be like, look at all this. They're going to measure in a lot of other ways that are smaller, and they're going to identify like right now, Ethereum is settling more than double the amount of value that Bitcoin does, and that is. And if you don't believe me, go to money-info. Hold on, let me.
No, I believe. I mean, I think we all can believe that because there's more utility to be
there's
done.
More economic, so in the last day, there's been 22 billion in the last day alone settled on Ethereum, 22.72 billion, and on Bitcoin is 9.6 billion. Okay, that and I mean, if you want to look at angles, it looks like Bitcoin's is going down. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, imagine these were economies. Which economy do you want to store your value in? The one that's actually increasing in use because it's going to continue to increase in use because you can continue to build on it? Or you want to store in something that's really stagnant and doesn't have any ability to increase its economic sort of spread, especially and then you look at the transactional volume, like the number of transactions that are happening. The transaction volumes for like Ethereum, the Bitcoin, since the summer, like Ethereum's almost like double. I think it is actually double Bitcoin. If you are ignoring economic activity and saying you're just going to hodl, listen, man, look, I might sound crazy to you right now, but at some point you're going to sit there and really think about it.
It sounds like you talk about money velocity.
Yeah, but okay, now when money velocity is low, what do they say? Oh, the GDP is down because the money's not moving. That's economic activity.
Yeah, but you can't compare, that's apples and oranges. You can't compare Bitcoin's protocol to a whole economy. That's not.
Why can't I?
Because that's not what it is. That's not what
they told you it is. And that's what the thing. You got to look at the numbers, man. What do the numbers tell you?
Okay, and then here's my other one for you, right? So if it's about having velocity or economic activity, gold don't got no economic activity per se as a mainstream thing. It's there, but there's a whole bunch of ETF stuff that go on with it as far as the price is concerned. Certain institutions have, been in court about manipulating prices, but yet X amount of people still know about it, and they're not saying, oh, it's going to go away. There's no point in doing it. Like, granted, there's the whole generational difference, whatever, but I'm just, like, again, like, to argue out like, oh, well, it only has one use case, it's not going to be here, it makes no sense. Gold and silver and other metals been around for way longer, and look at where we at.
Yeah, but I think Alan,
they have a utility.
We never had an alternative. We never had an alternative until Bitcoin came around to gold and silver or any precious metals. We never had that optionality
outside of their monetary base. Like, you can they're used for components within your technology. So you can't really compare that because it's a physical asset to Bitcoin. But I agree with everything he's saying. Majority of what he's saying, and I've made this argument before because Bitcoin does have very low utility. The issue is, like I said, that's not going to become true until the price goes down and doesn't make a higher high. Until then, you're just we're just speculating.
But if you're talking about just pure USD gains, other coins in the top 20 have outperformed Bitcoin. I think Ethereum has even outperformed Bitcoin every year except for 20what since its existence.
You're absolutely right. But it's all about perception.
But no, but you got to understand though, Alan, what these corporations and why Bitcoin will continually go higher, I think, and be worth more than Ethereum for a little bit longer is because they're looking at it as a hedge, so it doesn't have as much volatility compared to an Ethereum. If you look at volatility, though, that's why these corporations are gonna pick Bitcoin as to stash their wealth in versus Ethereum.
my
They'll
point
use
is this.
Ethereum, but Bitcoin will be there for that stash.
It depends on when you got in and when you plan on getting out. You got a bunch of people telling a certain group of people don't ever get out. That we already said that's a problem. Okay.
Yeah,
and then the other thing is, it's like if you're saying that pretty much year over year Bitcoin is being outperformed, if you're measuring in USD, then you already know that Bitcoin isn't the asset for you. And if you're saying that the downward aspect of it is why why you're concerned about like is like other coins go down more, sure, I'll give you that. But there's plenty of coins that don't give you the narrative to hold forever because they're not trying to trap you. And there are a lot of stable coins you can exit to now. So your excuses, I mean, are just like, listen, either you're gonna think for yourself, and if any coin, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever, gets to a certain point, you can now exit into a dollar-based coin if that's your concern. Okay, you don't have to subscribe to the HODL forever narrative. Okay, so you have options.
Yeah, I hear you. Last but not least, we're gonna switch off the crypto. We'll end it with a bang. My man Orange Man, he did it again. Teflon Don, acquitted for.
Man, listen, I don't like Trump, but that was a bunch of nonsense, and I'm gonna be out with that. It's a bunch of nonsense. It's political theater. I argue with a bunch of my friends. Like, look, I think Trump is a terrible person and a terrible president, but this is all political theater, and all these people in DC are clowns. Every one of them. I don't care what color they got on.
Yep, no cap. He's not
absolutely. I mean, the first thing you do is try to impeach a president that got off. Like, come on, man, he's already gone.
Well, you got to remember, though, guys, this is the pattern here. They tried to impeach him before he got in office. They literally were saying impeach Trump before he was actually even in office. So you got to try to impeach him after he's out of office, too. That's just right. That's only natural.
Did while he was on his way out was ridiculous. You can't deny that. What he did was absolutely ridiculous. Like, they have proof and evidence that.
Whoa, hold on, Joe. Slow your roll. So it's funny enough, right? Before I saw the articles that you had posted today, I happened to catch something on CNBS or one of them. They had his lawyer on, and his lawyer is listening to the lady as the interviewer, like, talk what she's talking, and then he was like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "No, hold on. Did you just try to say that it was because his lawyer basically says, hey, we won the case because we proved that they tampered with evidence and they were making connections on certain things that weren't factual. So like, this tweet was made during this period, but it wasn't really made that time. It was like a year's difference, right? Yeah. And so she was like, well, she said something along the lines of, well, that's not really a big thing. And he was like, wait. So you're saying it was okay to tamper with evidence? Is that what you're trying to say? She's like, oh, no. I'm trying to put it in context for my audience, the audience to understand. So when people say stuff like, oh, there's evidence, I'm always like, wait, who are we saying had the evidence? And how are we able to validate this? Because case in point, right? When we had that whole situation with what was it? Like the initial part where they were like, oh, there's this Russian company and they're the ones who did X, Y, and Z. And then like the DOJ was supposed to go after them or whatever. I was listening to another interview. This was last year. And the guy was breaking down how the company that was named in the interview for infiltrating Facebook, they came in and faced the charges and were like, yeah, so like, please show us where we did something and we'll have our forensics people break it down. And then the charges got dropped all of a sudden and they got like put out like, oh yeah, it wasn't y'all. So when we say these things of like, it's evidence, I always find it funny now how we argue out what evidence is because
I know you watch on RT Crosswalk. I don't know if you saw the latest episode, Reality Czar.
Nah,
did you see that one? Go check it out. Yeah,
right.
ladies and gents, go check out on YouTube Reality Czar. It's the latest episode on Crosswalk. Man, those guys are more I love listening to people that are more intelligent than I am. And they really broke it down, bro. These people are not Republican, Democrat, but they were just saying we're going down a dangerous path in America with these narrative, like we've been changing the narrative and making what's not reality reality.
Yes.
And
like,
that's what happened in this particular instance with this impeachment, man. The Democrats, they actually put a footage reel together, and they left out the part that Trump said protest peacefully. You can't do it. If you're gonna present evidence, you can't cut and paste and try to create you can, and they have.
Hey.
But I'm glad that it didn't go any further. This will allow the Senate to go ahead and work on another UBI print money for everyone program, which I think a lot of people are in need. But that's a whole nother subject. But this was holding that up.
So it was definitely a lot of showboating, and then you see how they caught AOC out. Like about a week or she got caught out there too, because she was framing her experience in a certain narrative, and I don't know who was the first person to check her on it, but it came under question for how she was delivering where she was and what she was actually going through and who was with her. And
she a fraud. End of story. She a fraud. She's bordering on being a clown. I don't know. I used to think she was about the right things, because I don't have the exact political leanings that I think a lot of you, but she's a complete fraud. And I prefer her be out of Congress at this point.
I've been waiting for her to show her hand. I'm not saying I've been following and I'm all go blue team and none of that crap, right? But when I started hearing her name pop up, and it's this whole oh yeah, she's from New York, and I've seen one or two of her interviews, and I've noted certain things about how whoever
she's very ill informed.
I'm not even talking about the ill informed part, bro.
I'm just saying I've heard statements from her.
It's not even that. It's got nothing to do with the uninformed. She presents herself as a revolutionary, and she's nothing but a follower and a caver.
Who is she following?
That's the problem. Whatever Nancy Pelosi tells her to do, that's who she's following.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna make that direct connection. I'm just gonna say I've looked at some of her stuff, and I'm like, oh, someone's definitely prepping you a certain way. And there's a runway of we need to get you into having a certain level of mental real estate within the demographic party, within the American political scene. And I feel like at a certain point within this decade, for sure, she's gonna show her hand, where it's gonna be whatever it's gonna be. I don't know, because I don't pay enough attention.
She showed her hand.
I like Shorty
showed her hand. She tries to brand herself as a revolutionary, like she's part of some type of revolutionary movement, and she's really just nothing more than a reformer at best. And I know, what has she put on the floor that is really impacting, everyday people? But she branded herself, she was the waitress and all that other stuff. But my whole point is, politics is just theater, man. It's just a scam, just like everything else. When you look at it from that aspect, you don't you can follow it, but you only follow it for where's the money going? You don't follow it for any type of real change for the average person. It's money owns politics. So where they're going to invest their money at, or where they're trying to get tax dollars to be put into. Yep. That's it.
Yep.
Everything else is
ain't nothing but go ahead, my bad.
I saw the Trump guy lawyer on one of the, it may have been Fox News, and he almost broke down and cried, bro. And I'm with him, whether you're left or right, man, this stuff is getting so bad. It's polarizing America to the point where me as a person that I'm not Republican, but I tend to I did like a lot what Trump did. I get, I almost get canceled. You shouldn't have to feel that way in America about any opinion you have for any politician. I think it's just getting so out of hand. We need to come back to the central point, a more moderate approach to everything. And these types of activities are not helping that, bro.
Nope.
I disagree.
Oh my God.
I disagree with that point because there is like the whole creation of this right and left is a media creation. It's like conditioning and manipulation.
Yep.
Like the right manipulates people's gut feeling, like your instincts. The left manipulates people's empathy. So you want to see people do better. So they dress it up like, oh, we're gonna help everybody else. When, like I said, money owns politics. That's it. So this whole narrative is just theater. It's just like, oh, well, this person's saying this and this person's trying to do this. It's all theater. When you come down, you dress it down, you take everything and all the emotion away from it. What are they doing for the average person? They're not doing anything. They haven't done anything for the last 40, 50 years.
Yep.
And
but they've done nothing. But how much money have they given to the military, right? They got plenty of money for military and wars and all this other nonsense. But when it comes to people, they don't have it.
My thing, of course, perception is reality for each individual. We all have our own perception of things. But I felt like Trump was, of course, taking care of himself. Well, his crony, his people, right? Whoever his network was, of course. But you look at Trump, man, he came in as a billionaire. He left less of a billionaire. These cats come in as 100,000-aires or millionaires and leave with tens and hundreds of millions. So to say that he came in, well, what I'm saying is, in my opinion, with Trump, I think he was like the last cat that was really for the people. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No way.
He
was for himself.
Nah, he would. He
branded himself as for the people. He branded himself as for the people.
And somehow that Kool-Aid tastes good to you. I don't know why, man.
It tastes real good.
But
what are you saying, Default?
He branded himself as being for the people, which was genius. And then people always saying like, "Oh, he's dumb. He doesn't know what he's doing." I think he's another master marketer. Yep. But he didn't turn that in and then do any policies that worked for the average day person. He did the tax cut. That was his top policy. Like,
so that didn't help the average person.
No, you're going to have to pay more in taxes. You're going to have to pay more taxes.
Well, now that he's not in, it was contingent on him getting a second term.
No, that was the first. No, that was when he first got in. They passed that tax cut, right? And this is the thing: we got to get beyond this crumbs. These crumbs, tax cuts and stimulus checks. The problem is our system is corrupt. And
I
screwed
agree.
up.
I agree.
Okay. And he presented himself as once again, another person presented themselves as a revolutionary, but policy-wise, he was not. One thing he did do was he smashed the mold of who could be president. Now anyone can be president, which to me is a good thing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now let me just say this real quick. I'm not one of those people that think I'm not like these MAGA hat wearing Trump supporters. Okay, that's not me. I'm just saying he's definitely messed up in many areas, particularly the pandemic and how he handled that initially. But I guess what I want to say is you got to look at stuff like with China, right? He stood up to China. He wanted to kind of bring things back home for us to produce things here in America. I think no other politician had the balls to even go that deep with it.
Yeah, but our trade deficit is actually worse.
Well, that wasn't the point. The point of it was to bring those jobs back where we can create more tax revenues for here. We can build infrastructure.
Remember what happened with Carrier, CB? Remember what happened with Carrier?
Huh?
With Carrier,
Whole sentence, bro. You gotta give a whole sentence.
Yeah, you got to give us a whole sentence, big fella.
Okay, so Carrier, I'm pretty sure they manufactured goods and services over in Mexico, right? And he wanted to bring them back home to America because they were based in America at first, but then the cost of doing business over here was just way too high. So he pretty much incentivized them to come back, and they took the money, and then they didn't actually do anything over here in this country.
I didn't hear about that.
No, that's true. 10 pound is 100% correct.
But
That's exactly what happened.
But the thing is, I'll give you another one. Again, to me, he was sincere, and that's all I wanted. Sincere, being right or wrong didn't matter to me. He was sincere. We didn't have any wars under Trump.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Man, he legitimately killed General Soleimani, and then Soleimani launched nukes. Well, not
whoa.
Bro, he launched intercontinental ballistic missiles at a military base.
Where was I when that?
Hold on. We killed 2 American citizens using drone strikes under Obama. What now?
Okay, that's fair. That's true. We did that. But I mean, Trump, his first military raid killed an American child.
Okay, hold on. You're not going to sit here and compare Trump and Obama. Obama was definitely far worse from a military perspective. He definitely had more drones. We definitely had more wars. We definitely had more engagements of the violence.
Gonzaga?
I mean, all sorts of stuff.
Trump did more drone strikes than Obama did, and then they made it so they didn't have to report them. Like, that was a big deal. Yeah,
let me get the Mexican in here, because the Mexicans voted big time for Trump in this last election. I'm not asking you to be, tell me your political affiliation, but just give me your assessment of what we've been talking about.
Dude, to be honest, I thought Trump was kind of toast with all the theater to the evidence. Like, they put the drama music, they're showing like penetrating the Capitol. They're the goofball with the horn hat, like behind this taking pictures. I don't know if they were on live or whatever, but I was like, damn, Trump might be done for real. And me being from California, everybody here thought he was toast. So I didn't even pay attention to it. I was like, damn, this dude's like gonna be gone for real after he got out. Like, that's cold-blooded. And then to top it off, like the thing that topped it off for me that made me shake my head was if you had a lot of attention on you on Twitter and you were pro-Trump, like, you just got whacked. And I was like, wait, hold up. Like, you could be the My Pillow guy and be on Trump's side and you just get whacked off Twitter?
And that's what, and I dropped that link for everybody to check out. And that's what I'm talking about. I don't care if you don't like Trump. I'm fine with that. I don't care if you do like Trump. I'm fine with that. You have your right to your opinion, but when we start going down the road of these major media conglomerates, Twitter, Facebook, where like 90% of the world gets there, they, coagulate or not coagulate, but, come together and get information and stuff. When you allow them to filter who they want to filter and paint a narrative, dude, that's dangerous. It's just really dangerous. And I think that's, we got to get that back in check, in my opinion. Do you think, guys? Oh, and one other thing I saw in the chat room, someone was saying we're already at war. That's true. Couldn't even wait 30 days. And don't we, Trekk, have another? We got troops going into some country.
Bro, I tell you, we've had this conversation. The only difference between when we say it's war and when we say we're not at war is just how we market and what it is to the public back home. That's literally it.
You did say that.
Always people active somewhere.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
it
true.
wasn't we waited. We might have slowed down certain things, but like, in all honesty, I do think things are going to switch back into the public turn on narrative of, like, we're actively doing stuff. Where on Trump's watch, it was more about not of the other side of like, no, we're not doing stuff. So like, no, there was nothing new started under him, but it doesn't mean he didn't continue operations of things.
Gotcha. All right. Any last words for anybody?
I got some last.
I just want to add, like, the one time he did try to pull back the troops, they chastised them, and he ended up reversing course. And I think that was Syria or Turkey or something like that. It was Syria. Yeah. Just want to add that in. But I'm not, I don't care for any personality. It's all about policy. And unfortunately, the public, the mass public, doesn't understand that when it comes to politics. They just look at, well, this person acts this way, or they like this, and I don't like that, so I don't like this person. You can't make it personal. You got to look at the policy.
Gaston.
Yeah, my last thing was totally off this subject. Is that cool?
Yep, definitely.
All right, so I was listening to you and Alan talk about, is it all season?
Yep.
It's absolutely all season, and the damn sign is when Ethereum hits a new all-time high. It's like, is it winter? I don't know. Did snow hit the ground? Okay, it's fucking winter. Okay, and then the thing about all season this time around is I've been listening to Michael Saylor and the other dude that he had on. Everything he said was correct. Everything they're saying is pretty much very correct, but it's nothing us and crypto Twitter haven't been saying the last 10 years. So when I hear Michael Saylor all this and all that, I'm like, man, I've been saying that way longer before you.
Yep.
So, but here's the thing. Usually when I meet a lot of Bitcoin OGs, they are kind of like very similar. They saw the Bitcoin concept and they thought, dang, it's amazing. And then they stumble across something like CoinMarketCap and they see all these other coins. And immediately the first thing, we all become Bitcoin maximalists. We're like, man, screw everything else. Bitcoin's the way. But then you start hearing a little bit about Ethereum doing this, or that coin can do that, or this can do that. Then your mind starts opening up. And I think this is these institutional guys are sounding exactly how a lot of us sounded right in the beginning. Bitcoin's the only thing. I don't care if you got smart contracts, whatever, I don't care. But then they're going to start slowly like, hey, DeFi is kind of interesting. Smart contracts kind of interesting. NFTs are kind of interesting. I'm going to put some money in there. Let me put some money in there. These alts are going to blow the hell up. And one thing that I've been thinking about, I've been so sad for my EOS bag. And I know you too, man. Yeah. Everybody's having a party except the EOS crew.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When they see that they're having feeless instant transaction on EOS, do you really think these institutional guys that want to move money or do something really interesting, you think they really care about a network being decentralized, or do you think they care about a free transaction getting there ASAP?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. A lot of people who are more like core to the ethos of crypto and being decentralized and stuff will maybe not bite the apple on the whole EOS situation. But like you said, a lot of those corporations, I think you're talking about EOS, HBAR. I'm really into even one of the other EOS.io chains is Telos, Wax. But yeah, they're going to use those Binance chain. They're going to use those chains that don't, require a fee. It is what it is.
And everything, we're so early, everything's going to blow up. My brother, who I try to get into Bitcoin at $100, reached out to me 3 days ago and said, hey, dude, what's up with this Dogecoin? And I was like, oh, man, here we go.
Yeah,
here we go. My nephew just started trading on Robinhood. Shake my head on that. He was like, yo, I'm getting me some Litecoin and some Dogecoin. You think that's a good idea? Wow. I was like, dude, how much money you got? He's like, I got $1,000. I was like, all right, if you got $1,000, just go 75% Bitcoin, 25% ETH. But to be honest, I told her, Bitcoin's about to blow up with all this institutional money. So wherever you put your chips on the board, it's all gonna go up.
Yeah.
What,
Everybody's gonna look like the best investor in the next year and a half.
And also what I put on the chat, in alt season, everybody's a trader. Everybody's posting a chart. Everybody posting this, and then boom, they get humbled. And then during the bear market, how many times do you remember seeing people on crypto Twitter posting up their trading charts? Their trading charts. Like, hey, yo, check this out. Nobody was saying nothing. So, hats off to all the traders. I wish you guys the best. I hope you guys save some money, but just be real with yourself. Like one of my buddies, like, I feel bad for him, but he was like, dude, I lost 200 grand. I was like, wow, I can't believe he like publicly posted that he's lost 200 grand trading crypto. It's tough, but a lot of people get humbled. But to be honest, in alt season, anywhere you put your money or almost any trade you do, you're gonna come up if you hold it enough weeks. That's all I gotta say.
I hear that. Last words for you, 10 pound.
Not Your Fool puts it very well. Don't fall in love with any coin. Just make profits. Take a little bit off the top. Don't get bogged down off. That's just the way it is. Also, follow me on Twitter. TPS0011 is what it is.
Yes, sir. Let's get my man Default in the building. I got to get you in the Crypto and Friends chat room on Twitter and our DM, man, so you can know when the next live streams is coming up. Usually on Sundays, as you know. But yeah, what's going on, Default? Tell us anything on your mind to end this.
Well, I'll start doing content on YouTube.
Nice.
You can find me at What the Chart Says, mostly dealing with trading. Some of the plays that I posted are overperforming most of these coins right now. So, you can find me on there.
I'm trying to find your channel now. When I type in What the Chart Says, I'm not seeing.
Yeah, I'll post.
Drop it in the private
thing
or whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, man, just I think there's going to be a pullback soon. But just stay safe out there, I guess, and take your gains. That hodl mentality, you always gotta lock in gains.
Lock in something, exactly. Trekk with 2 Ks. Buy his book.
Oh, I'm still dealing. Yo, my website got hacked. So
technical difficulties.
That's a whole nother thing I'm dealing with right now, bro. Like on the back end, but and I'm still working out some stuff with the NFT side with the book, but they will be out. I'll figure it out one way or the other. It's gonna happen. So what is my closeout? I'm gonna say the same thing I say in the Clubhouse stuff, where it's like, we talk about Bitcoin as the big thing, the first mover advantage. Like, as Alan says, it's real basic. And so with that being the first thing, like, understand the basic stuff and then go and mess around and explore and stuff. But on the trading side of it, I say, if you're not about to do the homework and pay attention to like what's going on in this space, like, don't do it. Don't think like just because you found like, Ethereum or XRP a week ago, now you about to be a super trader, so you about to just go all in with your Uncle Joe money and ball out within this year. Now, granted, you can definitely take some gains, but if you're not about to do the actual homework on this thing, don't do it to yourself. Like, you're gonna be mad and you might lose more than 200K. Like, we was talking with Black Money the other day, and he was saying how he lost like 2K on a phone call that wasn't even a full 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So, I'm not a price talk person, so I don't give people trade advice, but like for the new folks coming in, that is definitely one thing I would say to folks. This community works very, very different. It's not like the driving force for why people acquire, hold, spend, whatever it is they do with it. You can tell somebody what it is, but you can't tell them what it means. So
Good point. There you go. Well, ladies and gents, I think that's pretty much it for tonight. We went a whole hour over, 3 hours strong tonight, fellas. Wow. Hope you go that long.
Right now.
Hope y'all go that long for your women tonight on Valentine's Day. Now, well, I don't know. Some of y'all 1 minute, man.
Damn, bro, fucking shocked, bro. What's that?
Yo, I went.
You don't go upstairs and be in trouble, bro.
I went 45 minutes last night, and she told me, "Yeah, you went 30 seconds." I was like, "What?"
45 is that's a strong session right there, bro.
And then she had the audacity to say, "I went 30 seconds."
45 is a strong session, bro. That's a strong session. That's a strong session. We're gonna end it on that. We out of here.
That's cold.